VOD have you started? We've got the Chengdu Hunters against the Guangzhou Charge. And right off the bat, Chengdu's rolling out a comp that we haven't seen yet this weekend, right? Yesterday, we saw all the Western teams play. They played something very similar to Charge. They played the Doom or the Torb instead of the Sombra. But same principles apply, right? I think the Sombra has a really good ult. You trade some direct damage from Torb, who does really high damage numbers, out for Sombra, who has higher impact cooldowns with the hack and the EMP. But, you know, the entire game plan stays the same. We're still running Lucio Moira. So you still have to play very fast and roll over the enemy team. While the Hunters over here, they're playing dive. And this is interesting because we haven't seen this at all yet, right? We haven't seen any team play dive yet. The Western teams basically played the same comps over and over again. So it's really interesting that the Hunters are again pulling out something very Hunter-ish and are going against the curb here. But yeah, let's see how this first fight plays out. The win conditions for the Hunters comp is to like kind of ping pong, you know, find a target, then all dive that target. They don't have the Zenyatta Discord orb, however. And they don't have as much damage. So if I were to like say like straight up, if Charge play it well, their comp should be a little better in my opinion. But it's very interesting how the Asian regions like Sombra more than the Western regions so far, and have been playing Sombra a little more. And I think Sombra is very strong. I think her ult's crazy, especially if you win first fight. Sombra can snowball very, very hard for you. Okay, well, let's see what Chengdu does here.
The objective is now active.
Sombra gives you so much information and can enable team pushes so much, and EMP is such a good ult. I think if teams were playing like the Reaper Doomfist a lot, I also think Sombra is like extra good against that comp specifically, because I think Sombra is very good against Doomfist as well. And that maybe is also why we saw so much Torb yesterday. Not just because Torb is really good, right, but also because Torb's turret does very well against Sombra. Torb doesn't, you know, he doesn't get bothered by the hack too much. So just like maybe these teams playing Sombra could be a reason why all these Western teams were playing Torb, because Torb is very good against Sombra and Tracer. Anyway, but I feel like if Charge stay together, don't get split up, and focus targets together, I don't know how Jinwoo dies here. What? That should be okay, because Reaper's really good against this specific Hunters comp. Like, it's hard to kill him. He has 250 HP, and if the Winston even comes close to him, he gets domed in the face. Let's see what Jinwoo ends up doing here. Oh, he's already dead here. Okay, so he has a translocator out. It's over here. Or spam. It gets a hack. Oh, he gets hacked. Okay. So nice hack from Aileen, and Jinwoo isn't able to react to the hack. He gets hacked. Doesn't get the TP out, and then obviously he dies. So yeah, to me, it's either that the DPS from Hunters here have to get ridiculous value, and again, I've said this before, but I think Tracer is a lot worse because there's no Brig. Brig is banned right now. The bans are Wrecking Ball, Brigade, and Mei and Kree. And while you'd think, hey, Mei and Kree, they counter, Tracer and Sama really hard, so maybe Tracer and Sama are really good. No, I thought Brigade is like the glue that stuck the dive comp together, and without Brigade, I think this Hunters comp is a lot worse. If they had a break here instead of the Lucio, and maybe a Zen instead of an Ana, their comp would be like really good, right? Like pretty good into the charge comp as well. But now, because they have a mostly tank supporting support line, and just by nature of being Winston and D.Va, they can't do too much against the Reaper and D.Va, I feel. Leave and Jinwoo still have to do a lot, but they don't get as much support as they would if you were playing a Brigade. Okay, so what I'd really like to see here from the Charge too is to play very aggressive, have scouting with Sombra, right? Have Aileen scout. Then when the enemy team is about to come through an angle or a choke, you like instantly try to speed on them and fight, right? Because the support line should be the target for Jinwoo and Leaf, right? But if you look at Charge's support line, it's Lucio Moira. Lucio Moira does not die very quick to flankers, really. Especially if they play it well. You have the healing orb to keep each other alive. Moira has the fade ability, right? Lucio has his wall, right? His mobility. Aileen is the one to get hacked this time. So Charge is obviously, or Hunters is obviously playing a style where they kind of sit back, they wait for Jinwoo to find the hack, and then they try to go in. So far, at least. Nero kind of gets split off, but he has his Ray form. Reaper's very safe like that. And overall, like, so far this is going really well for the Charge. They still have point control. They're just sitting on point. Hunters have built Nano though, and Charge did not get too much out of the Cole. So I could see the Charge play a little more aggressive around chokes, around corners, instead of sitting back so much. But so far it's still going really well for them. Okay, the Leaf walks up. Aileen nearly has EMP. He built that really quick. I think it's Aileen actually. My bad. Oh, wait. He gets... Oh, you just don't see the animation goes off, but he gets a 4-man EMP. Dude, I hate that replay viewer bug. Yeah. Good EMP from Aileen. Gets Elsa. Oh, we haven't talked about ATing playing over A-Mang yet. But I guess if Wrecking Ball's banned, we'll see ATing more. ATing, Ating, I don't know how you say his name, but ATing. And he gets the hack on both flankers. A really nice EMP. The nano boost on ATing is done a lot so far. Get the rest of his 5 pans out. Prong ends up getting demagged. Neptuno ends up killing Leaf because he's hacked though. Oh, fragging Lucio. Oh, Nero goes to 1 HP. Second pronunciation of AT, is it Ating? I have no clue how to say this guy's name. Doesn't end up winning his team the fight though. Jinwoo also uses the EMP, and Chard is still stalling point. Ating, Ating. It's like Ating. Okay, I'll say Ating. Yeah, Charge ends up losing that fight, even though they got that great EMP. But I wouldn't say it's the end of the world, right? Hunters also used their EMP, they used the Winston ult, and they used the Nano boost, so now Even though Charge maybe could have been more aggressive there, and they're playing a very reactive style. But I'd like to see them play off their hacks a little bit more and use the speed boost from Lucio more aggressively. But overall, good job, right? They've already got 70% here. Pulse bomb comes out from Leave, doesn't hit anybody. And you see how quickly Winston dies? You guys see that? Holy moly. I think this is why we haven't seen that much Winston, right? Like if you just look at, he's full HP. You're gonna go .25.
Behind you.
Diva says behind you. One shot from Reaper. Two shot from Reaper. Fire strike. Shot from Reaper. And he's 120 HP. And then he has to use Winston Bubble defensively, has to jump out. So all like very bad cooldowns because you want your Winston to kind of engage for you with the bubble and the jump. So this opens up a lot of space for the Charge. Rio does get hacked though. And again, they're playing like pretty passive, I feel. Like Charge is marching in, but it's not like they're using the speed boost or going hard. Anyway, both teams use beat. You'll generally see this happen a lot too, where the one Lucio uses their beat kind of aggressively, and the other Lucio just uses it to counter the enemy beat. And generally, the one that beats last is the team that's gonna win, because they get the shield for just a little bit longer than the enemy team does, right? Which is a big deal, because then the damage on the Hunters will stick, and the damage on the Charge will still be shielded for like 1 second more. Winman says, "Hey Cass." Hey Winman, welcome to the stream. Molly ends up dying. So this is like what I really like from this rush comp, right? You can rush down the enemy supports even if they're playing dive. Molly gets in the thick of things. Gets slapped even though he is the beat. Oh, he does get the nano boost on Ting off. But yeah. Against Reaper, even when you're nanoed, if you have no DM, defense matrix, you're still gonna get screwed.
Nerf this. Nerf this.
Kwong ends up popping out through the bomb. Fight kind of gets cleaned up. Okay. Fight finally gets cleaned up. But overall, this fight was really good for the Charge, right? If you look at the ult situation, yeah, Hunters and Charge used about the same amount. Charge still have 3 ults left. Hunters have 2, right? And it's basically Charge only have to win 1 fight. Hunters have to win 2 fights. So overall, like, this is looking very crisp for the Charge. And just to clarify for everybody watching, this is also my first time watching this match. So I won't have like the hottest takes everywhere. Was mostly just watching, chilling. Yeah, and seeing what both these teams do and why it's so different from the Western teams. Because the Western teams, we only saw the same comp against the same comp over and over again. Neptuna gets hacked again. Before fight start, Jinmu's always looking for a hack, and I think Krong could put it more upon himself to try and keep track of the enemy Sombra and try to cancel his hacks, because Diva does instant damage, it's spread damage. So if he can cancel the Sombra hacks, that would be very good for the Charge. Neptuna gets hacked and pulse bomb though. Ooh. Both teams EMP, but Jinmu's EMP actually cancels Aileen's EMP. Aileen. Wow. Is that just RNG or was that planned by Jinmu? It is kind of EMP at the same time, and Jinmu EMP slightly earlier. So nice job from Jinmu, and that makes that fight very easy to win. It was already in Hunter's favor because they got the Lucio pick, obviously. But that just, you know, decides that it won't go. Charge have the Reaper ult, the Shatter. Hunters only have the Witson ult, so they're good for this retake. Let's see what happens here. So the Sombra is like really good against the Witson ult too. If Aileen can just sit back with his team for a little bit and then hack 18 when he inevitably goes in to make use out of his Winston ult, that could be a very good strategy. Because then they can just blow him up because he can't jump away. And Charge is somewhat slow, kind of waiting their moment. Maybe they're looking to push Jinmu out first and then go. That could be a strat they're doing. Nice. Aileen TP's away before the hack goes off. That's very good for them. If Aileen gets hacked there, he's just dead, right? You already saw 18 jump. I'm gonna keep making this mistake. Okay. Then Charge walk up. Why does Shu fade here? That was very interesting. Wait. I guess he dodges the nade from Molly. He sees ghosts. Yeah, generally you don't want to use your fade against a dive comp like that, because now he's really vulnerable, right? Like if a Winston jumps him and he can fade away, he should be okay. But now, you know, there's no fade. So it's going to become a lot rougher. If they actually dive him right now, right? If they saw that fade, then he's a dive target. If they didn't, well, they're not going to dive him. Die. What the frick is happening? Okay. Oh, Charge. Go very aggressive. And this is what I've been, you know, trying to hype them up for. Is that, you know, this rush comp, it can actually get on the enemy supports pretty decently, and they'll have to like speed away with their Lucio, right? But here, Neptuno, Krang, and Nero go on the two supports, and they go really, really hard. And Nero Reaper ults. There's a Matrix, so it's not even like Molly can sleep, and that should secure the fight here. Hey Karma, how are you doing? Yeah. Wow. So like, I like dive as a concept. I just don't think it's that great in this meta where Brig is banned. I think Brig enables Tracer really, really hard. And I feel like if Charge played even faster instead of kind of waiting for Jinmu to hack them, it felt like they could have just went really quick. Nero is really underrated. He makes awesome decision making. Yeah, and with that, he also has a really pretty big hero pool, right?
Ready for battle.
His May's been great. And Overwatch in general has been like not as much, especially in the flex DPS spot. It's been not that much about aiming and very much about decision making. You think about characters that they've had to play, like you think about Brig, you think about Pharah, you think about May. All those characters are kind of heavy decision making characters. You think about Doomfist, not that much like mechanical skill like Widowmaker or well, Hanzo's kind of mechanical skill, but the hit scans are mostly have to play Hanzo. But it's mostly about being smart and knowing where to be and how to use your abilities. And Nero is very good at that, in my opinion. Again, Hunter's playing the dive comp, Charge playing the rush comp. And it seems like Jinwoo is just kind of playing to get a hack, and then the Hunters are going to engage. But again, if Krong just kind of sits on Jinwoo, it should be very good for them. Oh, Krong goes pretty deep though. Lee was waiting for him, but he's okay. Yeah, now they forced out Jinwoo, right? So they have like an easy time where they're kind of free. Jinwoo has to kind of, reset, use his translocator, come back in. So in about 4 seconds, he's going to be back. But Charge is biding their time until the point unlocks. I could have actually seen them try to go for rotations, right? Like try to go around here. Make the enemy team rotate. Because Hunters can't actually win a head-to-head at all. So maybe they could like rotate. Make the enemy team like rotate into the Reaper, that kind of stuff. But they decide to do the death ball strategy where they're just gonna go to point. Oh, no, they're gonna go for it now. I think they could have went for that a little earlier. Nice boof from Neptuno comes out. Boops him off the high ground. Not off the map, but off the high ground. Still a big deal, right?
Time to raise my APM. Here I am.
Rio ends up dropping a point. So, Hunters have got this high ground control, but they don't really have characters that need high ground, right? They've got this whole stack, where if you look at all these characters, maybe the Diva can use high ground pretty well, but she has her booster anyway to get on it. And they have the Sombra, but Sombra generally plays alone anyway in this composition, like trying to fight hacks. So, they're just getting point control here. They're starting to drop. I really feel like if Jinwoo doesn't get like a sick hack and they dive on it, what's Hunter's gonna do, right? Jinwoo's here again, looking for hacks. Oh, he doesn't get the hack on Neptune. No, he almost gets it. Rio's just still sitting on point. Charge have got the point. What's the best way to counter Charge's comp? Would it be a more poke comp? Or try to something to win the head-to-head? So, what all the Western teams' response was, hey, we can't beat that. We're just going to play a head-to-head comp with either the Reaper Doom or the Doom Torb. And I think that's been the general response. I think with Mei ban specifically, it's hard to get Reinhardt off your team because the Mei freeze counters Reinhardt very, very hard and stops him from swinging, right? But without the Mei freeze, there's nothing that really stops Reinhardt because of his unboop. Like he has this unbreakable ability, right? Where he can't really get booped away. So once he's in your team, you can't get him out anymore. And that makes Reinhardt very, very strong right now. So the character that really counters Reinhardt is Mei right now. But Mei's banned this week. And that's why you're seeing so many head-to-head matchups. Because Ryan is just so sticky right now. And you can't really play a poke comp because once the Ryan gets on your Orisa, you lose, you know? So you kind of need the Mei to get the Reinhardt off your team by freezing him or walling him. But obviously Mei is banned. So poke doesn't really work without Mei right now. I was wondering the same. Hunters basically waited for their DPS to create an opening with a pulse or a hack for them to engage, but that's a shaky game. I agree. I think Hunters relying so much on Jinwoo to get a hack or them seeing someone out of position, it's just looking for, like, that's trying to win the game off of Charge's mistakes instead of off their own plays, right? Which is not a play style that I endorse. It's not a play style I like. But Hunters is playing a comp again that teams probably haven't scrimmed at all this week. So if you don't know what to do and you panic, that's when you lose against them, right? Oh. Neo ends up killing Yveltal. How does that happen? Dude, the Lucio's the one diving.
The objective is mine.
Nero TP's in. Gets the flank on Molly. There's not really any backup for Nero, so this is pretty risky, right? But Molly ends up missing the sleep. And Yveltal doesn't really deal with Nero. I feel like if Reaper TP's, the Lucio is really the one that should zone him. So Yveltal going in while the Reaper's on his Ana isn't good. Nero does end up TPing out. He might not have had to because Molly had already missed the sleep. But then he gets Yveltal, who was in the thick of things, right? But Reaper is being really, like, I've said this over and over again, but when there's no McCree in the game, that's when Reaper's really good, right? Because Reaper generally, like, wants to do his stuff, he wants to TP in, but again, if he gets caught by that flashbang, he's dead, right? So, just the pressure from McCree, having that flashbang ability and you know, outputting almost as much DPS as Reaper does, makes Reaper not as viable. Once McCree's banned, you'll see this every time McCree's banned, Reaper will be good. If there's no changes from what is right now, right? Okay.
Time to raise my APM.
The Charges kind of have the point. They run over the Hunter's comp. Hey Jay. Oh my god, you sub, Jay? When did you sub? Anyway. So the Hunter's comp is kind of their like retake plan can't be to just run head into the Reinhardt, right? They're just gonna lose. So their retake plan is going to be to send their flankers to point, to send Jinmu and Leave as a squad to point, force the charge back to point, and then try and take it. You got gifted it? Oh, I see. But Krong just solo what? How does Krong just kill Jinmu like that? He doesn't have his translocator. Why does he not have his translocator? He has it now.
Hello.
It gets destroyed. Oh. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then Krong just goes for him. So far, Krong's been doing a really good job of shutting down Jinmu. That triggers another reset for the Hunters. They're now stacking a blow. Yeah, so I really like this from the Charge actually. Playing aggressively before the enemy team can set up on you. What do you think about our teams deciding to run Ana over Moira in the Mei Brawl meta? But not in this week's Sombra, Doom, Tor, Reaper one. I think one, the Mei wall is very strong to hit the nade onto you. And second up, I think with these comps, Snappy, the fights are much quicker than when you have the Mei. Because it's generally like both Rhines clash, right? And then if you had a Mei, either Rhine, like both Rhines have to shield up because of the Mei freeze coming in. But there's no Mei freeze right now. So the Rhines just kind of keep swinging until one Rhine has to shield up. And generally the first team that has to shield up loses, right? And what is happening is these fights are so quick that just at the start of the fight, they're like both Rhines are already getting matrixed by the D.Va, right? Just to prevent Reaper damage, prevent a lot of damage. And by the time the DM is over, the nade would already be too late from Ana. And Moira has more consistent healing that goes through DM, right? So it's just that Mei, by being Mei, makes fights last longer And with longer fights, the Ana becomes more viable because one, her healing doesn't get eaten, right? When D.Va has no Matrix, but when she does get eaten. And Nano Boost is a way better ult than the Moira ult is. But just by virtue of DM existing, makes it so Ryan can get just ran over, right? Like the D.Va Matrix stops nade, it stops Ana healing. It only stops the Moira ball, which is still a big deal. But you can be smart about your Moira healing placement with the ball, and her healing goes through DM. Even though it runs out, the fights are so quick that running out doesn't really matter as much. Fights with Ryan v Ryan without Mei have been decided very quick.
Apagando las luces.
Anyway, this is just a quick side note, not based on this game, right? Because obviously the Hunters aren't playing the Ryan. But let's look at this fight real quick. I like this from the Charge. They're actually following up on their name. They're charging in before Hunters is even set up. And against Ryan, this would be really bad, right? Like going through chokes like this. Because the Ryan could just sit here and swing 6 at people that are running through choke. But Winston doesn't do as much burst, right? He does more damage over time. Can zap while his shield's actually up. But Winston doesn't hold chokes as well. So this is the kind of stuff that Charge can do, right? They can just like speed through chokes, take the fight before Chengdu's even set up. Krong jumps in from the top. Aileen EMPs. It's not a great EMP, to be honest. Everybody kind of gets out. Gets Molly, but doesn't get the rest. But again, it's just the aggression that's really good for this rush comp from Charge, right? You have to follow the name. It's a rush comp. If the dive can't set up for a dive, it's not that good of a dive. So rush comp comes in. Again, Chengdu can't take the head-on fight at all, so they'll keep sending Leave and Jin with a point for the retake. This time Leave ends up capping it. But still, that's not worth it, right? You trade your flex support for a point cap. Not worth. Thank you for the follow, Chops. Yeah, and if you guys like the content, make sure to leave a follow. I do a lot of VOD review streams, and even though this is my first time watching, right? I'm still trying to give the review here and give tips while also chilling and watching the game. Oh, Charge get the recap, but Neptuno actually dies. But that's kind of what the Hunters want, right? They want to create chaos, and then want to dive someone. That's off to the side. Oh yeah, you didn't watch this live. I didn't. I was sleeping. I mean, let a man sleep. I love Chengdu. Thanks for the answer, man. I was thinking about Kareev not utilizing on Ana. Yeah, I mean, it's just that Ana is a little too slow for even this comp. Do you think the Mei chain is an experimental will shift her out of the meta? Or is the wall just Jutron combined with the free? I think as long as Ryan is meta, Mei has to be meta until they kind of change how you can't boop Ryan right now. Because like with spam or with dive, you can't really get the Ryan. You can't really break him. And like if the rush comp can just kind of play around the Ryan, he's the biggest shield in the game, right? With 1600 shield. And he can't be booped, and once he gets close to you, he does a fuck ton of damage. That's rough. Like, I don't think like Mei is so good because Ryan is so good, in my opinion. And you know, when we saw Ryan banned, we also didn't see any Mei play. So I think that shows, right? That Mei just kind of counters Ryan and other tanks. And that she also plays really well with Ryan, right? So as long as, you know, Mei has the freeze on her left click, and she freezes Ryan's really quickly and slows them down, I think Mei will be good. Thank you for the follow, Soul King. Okay, so what's going on now? Hunters is re-engaging. They've killed Neptuno. They're using a fuck ton of ults. They're using Nano, EMP, and Beat. Which obviously isn't good if you still have to win the remaining fights on this map. So yeah, Neptuno, you know, they have to go back to point. He gets caught out. See what that happens first.
Time to raise my ATM.
Kind of ends up not rotating with his team. Look, he's in a great spot now. He just has to drop and go to his Reinhardt. He gets poked out by Leave, and then at this point he can't really drop anymore. He's already dead. Gets shot by a Tang. And eventually gets killed, so he's just a little slow to regroup with his team. And then really, the Hunters comps, like one thing, right, is that they thrive in chaos and that they have a mobility on almost all of their characters. So you don't want to be caught out alone. You want to make moves as a team. Aileen gets a hack on Jinmu. They also pop Moira ult. Pulse Bomb comes out, misses. Leave has not had good accuracy with his Pulse Bomb so far. Nano and Beat comes out, and while that goes out, A-Ting is jumping out, so that's very bad. If you're getting Nano boosted as Winston, you really want to stay in there, you know? Especially if you also get the Beat.
Feeling powerful.
Comes back in though. EMP also comes out. Right, so they really want to kill these tanks. EMP hits only the tanks. Would have been great if they could have hit Shu to cancel the coalescence.
Matrix activated.
Rio's still alive. Krong will get D-Mech, but he has Diva Bomb.
Nerf this.
Didn't want to leave, kill him. Okay, they didn't know. They didn't know, chat. Fights all over the place. Neptuno! Neptuno, no! Oh no, Neptuno's gonna die again. They spawn camped his ass. Krong gets the remake. What the fuck is going on? The fight's all over the place. This is some Chengdu chaos right here. Nero TP's to high ground, surprises Elsa. Kinda domes him.
Game on.
Oh, so 1 for 1 so far. Because Neptuno came back and then he died again.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Winston ult comes out. A-Ting. But again, the Moira's super survivable, right? She's not gonna die too just. Oh, Winston ult. Nero ends up dying now. Fight's still going on, and this is all good for Charge, right? This fight's been going on for like 25 seconds. They're still in control of the point. Leo's been doing a great job of just sticking on point. Chu gets cleaned up finally. Now the fight should be over for Charge, but really, that's a win for the Charge though. They barely use any ults. Yeah. Hunters use their best ults, their Beat and their EMP, Winston ult. They only have Pulse Bomb again and Diva ult. Close to Nano, but if Charge can just get a good EMP here, walking out, catch maybe the tanks or tanks and DPS, then they're already good, you know? Yeah, let's see where Aileen is setting up right now. He's still with the team. They're just forcing, again, the Hunters tanks just can't take a head-on fight with, you know, the entirety of Charge, who's always playing together. So they have to give up a ton of space. They dropped a point. kind of sit on point and just get charged. Even though, you know, Hunters have all this high ground. The high ground is not that great for them. Like, they still have close range characters, right? They still have Winston, Diva, Lucio, Tracer, Sound, who all do DPS at close range, but they won't like poke down a shield from like really long range, right? They have big damage fall-offs. So eventually Hunter's just gonna have to set up a dive, and it just looks like they only play off when Jinmu gets a hack and dive that target. Yeah, eventually Levi Charge isn't even using their ults.
Apagando las luces.
Aileen pops his ult, gets AT, and Leaves already dead. This is a disaster for Hunters. This fight's already over. Wow. That was a big yawn, even though I slept for a while. Massive yawn. I like the shoe spin at the end. But yeah, I really feel like that last, like the entire 2 maps, like the Hunters are just like fully relying on their DPS to make plays. And Leaf didn't hit pulse bombs, and especially the second map, Jinmu got shut down and wasn't able to find any hacks which they could dive off. Which I think that's just not a good way to play the game. Like you're fully relying on your Sombra to find a hack, right? Like if the enemy team or the Diva just marks the Sombra constantly, and Krong is a really good Diva, so he should be able to stop the hack a lot of the time, then what are you gonna do?
Attackers incoming in 30
Next map.
seconds.
Yeah, we're just doing a chill stream. We're watching, commentating at the same time, giving my thoughts, but it's not a true VOD review, right? I haven't seen the actual VOD. Okay. So now, the Hunters are like, hey, you know, our dive comp didn't work. Let's go and swap to a full spam comp. Let's throw everything we got at these guys. But as I said, I think if you don't have the Mei in this particular Hunters comp, and they're not even playing the Hanzo here. Yeah, Hanzo's not banned, so that's interesting. I think Hanzo's really good here. But if you're not playing the Mei with this comp, with the Oriso or the Sigma, then it's hard to get the enemy Reinhardt to stop swinging on you. Especially when he has like all the Moira and Lucio sustain, he has the speed boost. Hard. Lean again. Oh, wait, but Charge is mirroring spam. I'm not sure why, because I think you can still win with the Rhine comp, but maybe they're more comfortable in the mirror. I know last week was like a full spam comp, right? Ever get that feeling when you have to sneeze and then you don't need to sneeze? That's what just happened. But no sneezing. And Charge kind of just mirror with Hanzo, where I think Torb is really good against dive, right? But he's not as great in a spam mirror because it's very easy for Hanzo to kill his turret. So even though the Charge comp is a lot better in the spam mirror, in my opinion, Hunter still have the defensive advantage. So I'm not sure what the thought process is there. I think a lot of Western teams would have just taken the rush comp into the spam comp matchup. But maybe Charge just thought, hey, you know, we're just a better spam team than you are. Not sure. Anyway, they walk up, they kill the shield. I think as soon as you kill the shield, you take the space, right? I'd maybe like to see Krong here take an off angle for a little bit, but overall they're doing a good job. Ooh, they get nice pull there from A-Ting, who ends up dying though. Why? Why is this in... What is even going on? They used the drone really early, actually. Is that a good drone? Ting and Elsa are up front. Elsa gets spammed a little bit. That's okay. Cool Rock comes out. Ting gets his Fortify Force. They pull Elsa and use the drone at the same time, so I don't think they needed the drone 100% there. If they would have kept this drone, then they could have used it on the tank line here. Also, yeah, just the Hanzo does a lot more shield damage than the Torb does, right? Torb isn't that great at the shield war. He only does 75 damage a shot. When he presses his overload, his E, he'll do a lot of damage. But he's better in like brawl situations, right? So, even though this turret's going loose, this turret's shooting away. The shield war should still be won by Charge, which you saw there. Hunters didn't manage their cooldowns like all that well. They kind of used the drone when they didn't need to. Which, I mean, it's understandable, right? It's all going pretty fast, but... Jinmu ends up falling. And this should just be cleaned up by Charge at this point. And I think this is a really good Hanzo point. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't play the Hanzo over either the Soldier or the Torb. If you're gonna play spam, of course. Anyway, Charge ends up capping the point. No swaps made by the Hunters. Now gonna hold second point. Jinmu, oh, he does swap to the Hanzo. So now it's a true mirror. Oh, nice pull there. Wow, that's such a good pull from Rio. You pull both Yveltal and A-Ting off the high ground. And now, yeah, so because of that, Charge get the space, right? Like they kind of get to take this high ground pretty aggressively. Like A-Ting gets back up, but he's still kind of in the choke, you know, coming out when he gets back up. Meanwhile, Leave is all the way over here. And Jinmu is over here, so they're also playing very passive. Again, Yveltal uses his drone. Because drone is like, it has a 25-second cooldown, guys. So you need to have a good reason that you use this, right? You need to save somebody with it, or counter an ult, that kind of stuff. Okay, so he saves himself with it. So it's definitely needed. Now, Charge up the high ground, which is great. Jinmu's on a flank. Nero's dueling him. Never gonna win this. Oh, they just all turn on Jinmu, which is interesting, but good, in my opinion. Because if he's able to, like, stay behind there, and they don't deal with him, that could be, like, really problematic, because he could walk out here, shoot people that go to point later, right? So dealing with the Hanzo was in a good position. Smart move there. Also, good spot on it. Soldier's over here. But, I mean, Soldier doesn't do as much as Hanzo, right? He doesn't one-shot people. He has this rocket, which is buffed now. It got buffed to being a 6-second cooldown instead of an 8-second cooldown, which is a pretty big deal. But still, Soldier just doesn't do as much DPS and, you know, can't get the headshots like Hanzo can. So as long as you zone him out and he doesn't get high grounds, he's not as much of a threat. It's also hard to kill Soldier because he always has a sprint. So, very mobile character. Both teams used the Baptiste ult. Kind of stalemate. Oh, but Elsa comes back and kind of takes control of this high ground. That's very, very good. Because that gives Chengdu, you know, a crossfire, right? They have control of this. They can shoot everybody here, but they also have control of high ground. So Elsa can like shoot down on people like Rio over here. Nice positioning from Elsa. Drops down to go fight Kronk. Oh, nice. They end up killing Kronk. So this is like a good retake from the Hunters. Even though Jinwoo died early, right? Ooh. Big yawn. Dude, I like watching these VODs instead of 1 speed. I like watching them in .75 speed. Because it's just chill, you know? Like, you don't need to think as fast as on 1 speed. And yeah, this fight is going to be won by the Hunters at this point. Even though, you know, both DPS trade out. The defender spawn, they're just so OP on a second point 2 CP like this. You really need a really, really good push to cap points like this. Where basically nobody dies. Neither team really used a lot of ults outside of the Bop ult, just because they didn't have them yet. Nero ended up using his ult, but... And I would say this is kind of in favor for the Hunters, right? Like, attacking team, what will end up happening often is because the defensive team has the defensive positioning, right? Hence the name. The attacking team kind of has to spend ults to dislodge the enemy team. Like, a possible plan here for the charge could be, hey, we have to take this high ground, so let's walk up, bongo this corner, and then push them off high ground with the bongo damage, right? But Hunters then get a decision, right? They get the decision to either engage with their own ult and counter and kill the bongo, or they get to back out and wait the ult out, and that's the defender's advantage, right? They get to, you know, use their ult, like they get to decide when and where to take the fight, because the enemy team has to always do the same thing, right? They always get to take the high ground, or they get to take this high ground, or they go straight to point. There's not much deviance in what they can do, and that's where Hunters have an advantage, right? They can see what high grounds the Hunters want to take, or you know, what high grounds Guangzhou where they want to push, and kind of counter that. So let's see what happens here. Because if Hunters can just trade ults and trade players, that's really good for them, right?
Cease your resistance.
Move high ground. So is leave, but they're giving up a lot of space. And as I said, right, Charge walk up and they use their bongo right here, which is a great bongo spot. But now Hunters have to make the choice, right? Do we hard engage, or do we wait out the bongo? Which bongo lasts 15 or 20 seconds. With how much I talk about bongo, I should really know this, but I think it's 20. Anyway. Yeah, they decide to back out, right? And that's that defender's advantage that we're talking about. They get to make that choice because Charge are the ones that have to go to point. And they sent just Rio to point. So this is smart from the Charge, right? They have gotten this high ground, and it was a nice take, but they've had to use one of the best ults in their arsenal to do it, right? They had to use the bongo, which is now about to almost run out. Now, in return, Hunters use their bongo. Also a pretty good spot for it. Molly's gonna have to use trance here. Oh, this is a mistake. Oh, I've spotted an error on the Hunter's part. So what they do here is they get Sigma ulted by Krong. So Molly and Elsa get Sigma ulted by Krong. And what I always tell the teams that I'm coaching, right, in this mirror, you want to communicate whether you want to use Transcendence for an ult like this or you want to use the Baptiste drone to stay alive. But what I see, you know, the Chengdu Hunters do here is they use Transcendence and drone at the same time. Which, drone, I really view it, guys. I really view it as a defensive ult. Because it has a 25-second cooldown. Most fights don't last 25 seconds, right? So you only really get to use it once in a fight. So it's like an ult, in my opinion, which you get every fight. So using it to counter the Sigma ult is great, right? But then you shouldn't also use the trance. You should, you know, trust in your Baptiste to drone you, or you shouldn't use the drone at all. So stacking drone and Zen ult isn't good. You gotta talk with your support line about which one you should use first. Why does Krong stay high ground? Krong stays high ground because Sigma is pretty squishy as a character and he does very well off high grounds. Also, he had his ult. So generally Sigma does really good on high grounds, right? Like you either here you don't do that much, right? Because he's not in range of anybody. But if he can go over here with his ult, then he does a lot, right? Because he can shoot straight into this corridor. Whenever you watch Sigma and Orisa in this mirror, oftentimes you'll actually see them split because Sigma has his personal barrier, and when he can go on an off angle, that's when he does most damage, right? Because he can shoot into people from the side. He actually doesn't do that much shield damage. But if he can shoot into people from the side and farm his ult and do AoE damage, that's when he's really great. Hello, Kochoris. Hello, Crondop. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Okay. Aileen ends up killing Yveltal because, again, I talked about this, right? He used his drone to help Molly, and then they also trans that. So an error on his part, in my opinion.
I've got you in my sights.
Or an error on Molly's part, the way you want to look at it. Aileen ults on high ground, but Soldier alone really isn't that good. Leave ends up Soldier ulting in response.
I've got you in my sights. I've got you
The
in
counter
my
Soldier ult.
sights.
Wow. Aileen just kind of gets gunned down. And like, this trade is great for the Hunters, right? Because as I've talked about, right? Trades are great for the Defenders team. The spawns are so close. Rio is still sitting on point. He can kind of contest it on his own. He should get focused out. But again, Orisa's really resilient, right? She has the Fortify. She has the shields. Rio does get forced out, but still Krong is still supporting Rio, right? So Krong's doing a nice job over there. Krong doesn't have much effective range here, though. Like, he can't do much. He could, like, Sigma only has so much range, right? It's like 20 meters. He can only shoot up to, like, here. So there's no one he can really shoot. So maybe this is the time where he's trying to, like, go top right to get a better angle. This is a good angle, right? Or he would drop. Now he can shoot Elsa, I guess, but shooting the enemy Sigma shield isn't really what you want. So yeah, you see Krong drop. Leave is still playing annoying on the side. Neptuno can't really fight him. And then Sigma ult comes out for Hunters. So as you've seen, like Hunters has used a lot of these ults reactively. But that works out great for them, right? Because they end up using the same ults that the Charge really do. Charge, the only ult they didn't really use is the Transcendence. Good on Shu for not using that, right? But if you really look at the bigger picture, then trading those ults, it's actually good for the defending squad, because what often you need to break defenses on 2 CP second is having more ults than the enemy team. And just breaking them through using an ult, grabbing space, and then winning the fight off ults, right? It's like a good way to break second point 2 CP, and specifically Hanamura is really hard to cap. Just because spawns are right there. Like they're literally like 1 second away. And what you have to do is you have to come out of this choke. This is a horrible choke to play, right? So you often have to use a bunch of ults to get out of this choke. And then you still have to, after you get that, you still have to go to point, right? So you just have to use a lot of ults to get out of chokes like this. And now we see Charge actually have 1 ult advantage. They have Transcendence, the enemy team doesn't. So it's okay-ish. But what they're obviously like maybe gonna have to do is like take this high ground, use the Hanzo ult like this to take it, and then they're up here, and then you know Jinwoo can still Hanzo ult if it happens like that, right? Yeah. So you see Charge uses the Hanzo ult, and then in response Jinwoo uses his Hanzo ult, right? And that also forces out Neptuno's drone, which is a 25-second cooldown. Yeah, that's just another trade in ults, which is fine for the defense. Molly gets pulled. Good shot. Oh, okay, fine. And then a nice pull rock here from the Chengdu. What ends up killing Jinwoo here, I believe. So again, or Zero, I think.
Cheers, love.
Again,
The cavalry.
thanks for the follow, Yellows. Anyway, really good combo from Elsa and a team. Pull plus rock. You kind of want to block this with your Sigma shield very often, but Krong is off here taking an angle, and he wants to take this angle because Leave has been playing this sort of off angle for the whole game. But because he's not there, and because Neptuno's already used his drone, which I talked about earlier, right? It's basically a defensive ult. Still on a 12-second cooldown. Nobody can really counter this pull rock here, which fucks Nero up. Normally you would drone that, right? And then you'd be fine. But now they can't. Very rough. Staggers happen. Elsa is close to another ult, so he's found that very quickly. What do you think of Leave? I think Leave is good. I haven't seen enough yet. But when he was playing Hanzo, he was pretty good earlier. They played a lot of fair Hanzo when they were playing spam mirrors, I believe. His Tracer wasn't that good last map. He didn't hit a lot of pulse bombs. But when they were playing the dive mirror, his Tracer was actually pretty good. So it's been very character and map dependent on how he's been doing. But I think he's a good player overall.
60 seconds remaining.
Just needs some more time with the Hunters, right? He's only just started playing with them. In matches at least. Oh. Wow. So Elsa. Let's watch his POV. What is happening here? Pretty far up, trying to get into that effective Sigma range, right, where you can do damage. He still has full barrier. Use this barrier. He gets poked down, he gets pulled, and then he gets rocked while shifting. And rock obviously cancels the shift. So I think he like played a little too far up, in my opinion. He like had no cover here, right? And a really nice pull from Rio. Then back on the high ground, gets him rocked. The drone actually ends up coming out, but Yveltal misses it. Not a great drone. I mean, good fought, but just missed it. And that gives the Charge a lot of space. Charge didn't have to use any ults there to get this space. It's very, very good for the Charge here. They put Rio on point, which is great, right? Because what's gonna push Rio out? Like you can spam him, but these spammers from the Charge have basically been trying to focus the high ground and trying to take these flanks a lot. So the only thing that really breaks his shield is the Orisa and the Zen. But Rio anchoring point is great because it puts a lot of pressure on the Hunters to do something. Oh. Oops. Anyway, we went 20 seconds back, but we'll just speed it up. Get this fight again. Also dies, missed your own. Again, that's a 25-second cooldown. Rio anchors point. Okay. Let's see how Molly's Transcendence gets forced out.
Come on.
I guess he just gets pulled. Yeah, gets pulled. There's again no drone.
Pass into the iris.
He trances just to be safe. So oftentimes when you get pulled, what will follow is a Hanzo arrow. So people getting pulled are very, very scared of just getting like Hanzo headshot or rocked or Zen right click, right? So you'll often see a defensive cooldown come out just from the pull. This time Krong taking the left side, does a good job, right? Leave was playing here all this time, and now Krong's completely denied this flank. It's a good angle for him too, because he's in effective Sigma range. Leave ends up dying, and yeah, this fight is just... it's not looking too good for the Hunters. Elsa here has got a really good angle. Ops his ult. Shu still has Transcendence though, so they should be okay.
Into the iris.
Yeah, Elsa ends up dying too, which cancels the Sigma ult. Yeah. Should be a one fight here by the Charge. The Charge had like a good approach there. They're also like pretty big mistakes from the Hunters on that last one, specifically Elsa playing a little too far up, trying to do a little too much, and then just dying without the Charge having to use any ults. And then Krong just sits on this left side here, pushes everybody out. Once the Hunters are on one angle, right, they're all in this backside. It's pretty bad for them. When Leave and Jinmu were able to flank out here, it was a lot worse. Anyway, capping both points with 0 seconds left on Hanamura. I'd say that's okay. It's pretty hard to cap Hanamura, to be fair.
Ready for
Okay, so let's see what happens here. We've got Charge again on this rush comp that they've been playing. I really like this comp. I think they could have even played this on attack into the spam comp, but they didn't end up doing that. And now Hunters doing Hunters things. They're playing Pharah, which I think Hunters is basically the only team that really played the Pharah so far. Like last week, they were the only team to play it. This week, playing it again. They're really in love with this Pharah pick. Jinmu is a really good Pharah, but I think D.Va is a problem for Pharah right now. And the fact that Mercy, you know, pockets the fair and makes her really strong, but doesn't really enable the team. Anyway, let's see how the Hunters play this. Probably leave Force's point, and then the rest of them kind of spam. Okay, Molly's over there. Nero's looking for him.
Routing power to forward shield.
Whoa, this is very aggro. I don't think they need to send everybody after Molly. They do kill him, but Hunters are just getting point progress right now. Actually, all on point. Okay, so only one tick, so that's not too bad. Nero's TPing in somewhere. Where does Nero TP? Oh, TP's top left, that's good. And Hunters are displaying this avoid and make chaos style, right? Because they have the fair. See where Rio Shield's at though. Shield is doing pretty good here. He's 1400 shield still. So as long as the charge don't get picked here, I think they're good. They only give one tick away for that kill on Molly. They need to just find somebody to kind of, you know, get another speed on. Maybe they can get a hack on a tank. Because they are playing the Samra. Still sitting on point now. Shu gets hacked. But again, it's very hard to just dive into the stack from... Oh! Eveldor gets hacked, but he's on high ground, so he's not gonna die. Pressure out Leaf a little bit. I like that the charge is like looking for opportunities here. Obviously it's hard to find them, but it makes it so they're not just sitting in one spot getting spammed by the Pharaoh, right? It's very important that they keep moving and keep looking to pressure people out. Oh, Aileen is going for Molly over here. That's really interesting. Oh, he gets the hack. Yeah, Molly's gonna die here again. Nero also TP's on him for good measure. Neptuno's also in, which maybe Neptuno didn't need to go. Oh, he's fine, he's fine. He's still fine. Oh my god, he lives. Wrong dice, but those are worthy trades. Like, they keep killing Molly in the back because of this Sombra pick here. Aileen also finds Leaf. So Aileen's been popping on the Sombra. He's really good at Sombra. This is good. Like, they're trying to Moira ult the Fair Mercy. Hi, Kasoris. Is Jakirin one of the unluckiest players in Overwatch? I don't really know what happened to Jakirin. He was in Chengdu Hunters last season. Then he couldn't get his visa. I don't know too much about Jakirin Composed. I've never seen him play, to be honest. I know he was really unlucky with his visa last season, and then I don't know what happened to him this season, but they picked up ATing or Ataying. I think Loshish, Jakirin, and Smex are three really unlucky players. Loshish is also very unlucky. But yeah. I like Smex too, he's a great guy. He's so unlucky. For people watching on YouTube, my chat's just talking about how unlucky Smex got this season, and he really did. Give me one sec, guys. Hello? Sorry, stream. My mom made me soup. I had to go collect. Try not to eat too much on stream. But I don't want my soup to get cold either. Anyway, we continue. So far, it's been Hunters have had a strat where they try to force point. Charge has been kind of countering it by sending Aileen to deal with the enemy Anna to get her with Nero. And then sitting on point, and you know, the Winston really hasn't been doing too much. Molly's now swapping over to the Moira because he's been getting dives on Anna, right? But you know, Moira kind of just supports a brawly playstyle where Hunters would rather spam, right? They'd rather be spamming the enemy team from long range. So it's not looking too good for them so far. Maybe Jinmu can save them with the barrage here. But I don't know. Krong's just kind of chasing after Jinmu like he should. Oh, Krong gets hacked. So that's one of the strats that could really work out for Hunters here, is hacking Krong and then barraging.
Rains from above.
Oh. Krong does get barraged right after he gets hacked. So nice play there. Nice hack from Jinmu, who gets it off this time. Or nice hack from Leave. They swap Sombra players.
Apagando las luces.
Rio goes low, but still gets healed up. Fight's kind of a mess right now. It's chaos, which is good for the Hunters, right? They thrive in chaos. This comp is good when the enemy team is split too. What can save the charge here is the... Wait, did Nero dodge the EMP with a shift? That would be sick. Watch Nero. Wait for the follow composed. Oh. Chasing. Oh, kills ATing. Oh, he doesn't dodge it with a shift, but he tries to, right? He hears the sound and then still shifts on sound command. So good for Miro. Didn't really need it there, but still, it's like better to use it to not get EMP'd, right? And then, yeah, Hunters kind of clean up from this point. But it was all set up by the hack on to Krong, right? If Krong doesn't get hacked there, I think Guangzhou full hold here. That hack really set up that barrage, which gave, you know, Hunters all the space. Then Hunter still had a bunch of ults. But on the second point, Farah's even worse. So now Hunters make a full swap over to the rush comp, which, you know, you'd think if you want to make this full swap for second point, why not just play it first point? But yeah. Because they give up like a bunch of ults with that too, right? Like they gave up the Winston ult, they had full charge on that. Give a percentage on some other ults. But okay. Charge goes really aggressive, but Jin was forcing point. Vinci still forcing point. I like going aggressive, but with a Sombra on the enemy team, it becomes harder, right? Because he can just force point and then TP out. Is very good at that kind of stuff. So they Charge kind of panic. Aileen TP's back, and two more people go to point. And then Rio is a massive. What the fuck is that shatter? That's huge. Oh wait, he doesn't like focus anyone after though. Let's watch Rio POV. That's a nice shatter. That really clutches that for them. Because if they all have to drop, you know, then the positioning would be pretty good for the Hunters. Hunters do get a tick though, so that's pretty good. Oh my god. Dude, that's massive. Nice shatter from Rio. Oh, he could have fire strike Molly here and Molly would have died. Kinda, you know, tries to get the maximum people in his fire strike. So maybe he should just go for that one kill. That's okay though, nice shatter from him. Wins the fight for the charge. And Charge has got a really good look at the ult banks here. Like, if you just think 2 CP, you think, oh, attacker has to like get, you know, more ults than the enemy team that are on defense, or the defense has to fuck up completely. But we should expect it now that won't happen too much, right? So the Charge having EMP, which is a fight-winning ult on itself, and then they just go all these other ults. Kind of rough for the Hunters here. I feel like Hunters, what they can do is like aggro engage with the Diva Bomb on the high ground, right? But if Charge can just find a good EMP, they should just be able to win the fight off that. And there's still 3 minutes, right, for the Hunters, so it's not like, you know, they have to win this next fight, but this next fight is looking kind of dire for them. If Charge play it out properly. They're playing a little safer because they don't want Jinwoo to force point anymore. Jinwoo's kind of in this spawn camp and trying to find Aileen. Oh, okay. Force out the TP, that's nice.
Nerf this! Matrix activated!
So Elsa goes with an aggressive ult. Beat comes out from Neptuno to spawn.
Boosters engaged!
And then Nero pops his ult. That fight's over. They only use 2 ults, so good fight for the Charge. And again, like as I've been saying, you kind of need an ultimate advantage on 2 CP second point attack or play like really well to win that fight.
Apagando las luces.
EMP comes out here for Aileen. They win another fight, right? So as I've been saying, just that ult advantage wins the Charge 2 fights straight. Now though, this is where the Hunters kind of get an ult stack, right? They almost have their Moira ult, they almost have their Lucio ult, and their 2 DPS ult, and they have Shatter. But this is where Hunters can really like win this next fight, you know? Okay.
Nerf this!
So Charge goes aggressive. They throw the Diva Bomb behind the enemy team. This is a good engage plan. I like aggressive engage plans like this. Rio gets hacked though while swinging. That brings up the Shadow. Nero is not able to reform it. Wait. Molly and Jinwoo are over here. Wait. Why are they so split? Wait. Yeah, Jinwoo's over here. He's Sombra, so he should be split. How does Molly get there now? This kind of shifts through the enemy team. It's a pretty good ult though. Nero should die here, but it's a 1-for-1. Again, trades are good for the defensive team. But this is still good for the Charge. Oh, 18 shield's almost dead. Neptuno ends up dying though. Still okay for Charge. Neptuno's dead, but Nero's gonna come back. Again, those spawns are so close. Jinwoo starts capping again. Jinwoo EMP, really good EMP, gets 4 actually. Even gets Krong on the high ground. A really sick EMP for Jinwoo. Aileen dies because of that. Wow, that's such a good EMP. Jinwoo's been so impressive on whichever character he plays. Oh, but Jinwoo dies. And even though it's only one tick left, as long as the charge can... Oh, they can't stall the point apparently.
Round 2 complete.
Okay, so Hunters get that 1 minute bank. That means, you know, Charge don't even get another attack. So at best for Charge, it's a draw. But honestly, those fights were looking like pretty decent for the Charge. And that very last push where Rio gets hacked is really what kind of sucked for them. If Nero is able to like reform the Shatter there, they'd probably win that fight. Because then it's like a 6v5, right? Anyway.
Ready for battle.
Can't stop everywhere too long. Because actually, I was going to start it in 2 hours. And we have 3 more maps to get through. Yeah. Let's just try and watch through everything, right? Still analyze this match. But we're not going to take too long on every single POV, guys.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay. So this time, Hunter's playing a Symmetra comp. It's very interesting. Like, obviously, we just saw how long the Pharah takes to set up and do damage with. So it's good that they're not going a Symmetra comp again. Or a Pharah comp again, well. And I do kind of like Symmetra, to be honest. Like, yesterday we saw it come out too from the... Who was it? From the Valiant, I think. They played Symmetra as well, and they played it really well. I'm not sure why Charge don't decide to hold really close and look for boops on people taking the TP. But Hunters take the TP. What you don't want to let the Symmetra do is charge your beam and then take the fight. You kind of want to be really explosive and go in before the Symmetra charges beam. So right now, Jinwoo's beam is not charged at all yet. Let's watch the fight unfold though. Rio's up front. Still not really charging the beam. Charge is giving up a lot of space though. I think they can really engage here.
Coalescence is charging. My ultimate ability is charging.
Wait, they're just giving up all the space. Wait, they're just sitting back. This is not how you play against Symmetra. Oh. I guess they're trying to like farm EMP or get a hack and then go in, but look at how much damage he does. Rio shatters. Oh, he actually gets a really big shatter. Holy crap. That should save the Charge so hardy. Charge has saved PogChamp. Rio is our new hero. And I think this is ATing's debut match. And Rio's been doing great against him. So who's gonna touch the point? The Lucio? Oh yeah. Fucking Yveltal.
10 seconds remaining.
Sneaky Yveltal is gonna touch the point. Do they see him? They don't. He touches. He speeds out. He's gonna touch again, I guess. They really need to kill him. He's gonna live. Shit. But Aileen almost has the EMP. So if they can farm that, that's really good for them. For the Charge, obviously. Oh, 18 comes in. Oh! Not like this. Neptuno. heal boost so he can get his beat. And then he kind of gets flanked by Leave and shatters and dies with beat. Wow, if they get that beat off, Charge win this fight 100%. But Neptuno with beat gets killed and shattered. And Aileen, who has the EMP, also gets shattered. Nero does a nice job reforming the shatter. But at that point, you know, that was a really nice shatter from 18. Oh. All Rio needs to do is block the shatter. They're obviously playing for the EMP all this time. Oh, he kind of they speed boost in, and 18 kind of just like runs past Rio and shatters. I don't know. I don't like how passive Charge plays these fights. Like, I think Symmetra's really good if you're passive, and just in general, playing passive in Overwatch isn't good in the Ryan v Ryan, in my opinion. Like, let's say you're playing Orisa Sigma against Reinhardt. Of course you play passive, right? Of course you just spam his shield, sit back, but that's what the combo's based about. But when you're playing Lucio and Reinhardt, especially against Symmetra, I'd like you to like play more aggressive. Use speed aggressively. Use your cooldowns aggressively.
Apagando las luces.
Oh, he does get his EMP off. But, I mean, at this point, even though, you know, Nero does great on the Reaper, he even dodges the shadow with his Ray form. Probably no way that the Charge still win this yet. They come in with beat. Chengdu does. That's a rip. Dude, that was such a shame on the Neptuno beat. If he gets that off, he plays a little bit more safe. Knows that the lead flank comes in. They win that.
Victory.
That makes the 1-1. I mean, it would have still been a draw. But yet, you know. I think you need to play more proactive against a sim comp like that. I feel like what you saw from the Western teams as well is that they just like kind of like sped in hard and tried to fight.
Ready for battle.
Especially from like Toronto Defiant. They just didn't stop pressing W. Okay. Next map. Let's see here. We've got what?
Attackers incoming.
Are both these teams not going to play Reinhardt on this map? Is that what we come to in this matchup? It's just two teams trying to say, "Hey, we're better at the game than you." Fuck strategy. Okay, but we've got Bacon Jack in, so this should show to Charge that the enemy team is going to play Widow. Whenever Bacon Jack's been in, he's been playing Widow. And Amang is also in, which is interesting. I guess they just want a thing to play Reinhardt for them. Or Winston. And then Amang plays Orisa and Wrecking Ball. Very interesting. But yeah, Amang's back in, even though Wrecking Ball's banned. And they're gonna play Pharah Widow on attack and defense, I guess. And Charge say, hey, we also think Pharah Widow's really good on this map, so we're also gonna play it. But I think with the Rheinkopf, there are ways to really easily play around like these hard chokes. You can get the high ground over here just walking on it because the enemy team can't face you. And you can kind of speed into whatever's in front of you. I still think Ryan is really good on this map. So I'm not sure why neither team's playing Reinhardt. And it's a massive swap up from what we saw from the Western teams, right? The Chinese and the Asian teams in general to see way more varied in what strategies they use on what map. Very interesting to me. But let's see how it works out. So, Charge. Neo and Aileen are obviously really good at Pharah Widow too. Jinwoo, we know, is like one of the best Pharahs, and Bacon Jack is their Widow specialist. Should be a really skilled matchup for both these teams with, you know, the mirror comp. It's actually seen like a lot of mirror comps coming out. Like, we saw that Hunters was playing spam on defense on Hanamura just now, and then Charge is like, hey, let's go mirror, you know, let's go spam too. Okay. Rio Krong holding this corner. Nero using these high grounds here. Fighting with Jinmu. And where is Aileen positioned right now? Back here. Okay. Bacon Deck's actually positioned really well to shoot the enemy Fair Mercy. But yeah, a bunch of brawls are going on. Oh, Nero actually wins the first 1v1 even against Jinmu here. Nero's really good at Fair. Jinmu goes in really hard. I think he tries to bait Nero kind of into that Willow LOS. But Nero actually just hits 2 shots and gets out. Wow, that was sick Fair play there from Nero. Holy crap. Oh, Yveltal's on a boat. He's on a boat. He's on the boat.
Get through this.
Dude, why is he still on the boat? Dude, he's just gonna take it all the way back to spawn. They don't know, chat. They don't know about the Yveltal boat strat. Dude, what? This man just loves his boat. Gets out. They didn't know, chat. Wait, where's he going? He's a boatman. He's like, Jinmu got out fair. I'm going on the boat. I think first he just wants to try and get the res. He can't get it because Jinmu falls off the map, and then he's like, hey, a nice yacht, a nice, you know, boat over here. Let's hide from the enemy team. And Nero's like, hey, where did the Mercy go? Is he gonna res the fair? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? And then he stays on the boat. Nobody cares, dude. And then he gets out. That's so funny. Yveltal's a relaxing cruise, right? Dude, this guy's the greatest escapes in Overwatch. I swear. He just does this random shit and he gets away with it. It was really good for the charge though that Jinmu actually fell into the water when he died. You can't res people when they go off the map, let's say. As Mercy. Anyway. So Chengdu are gonna go regroup. Jinmu's gonna come back. A-Man goes for pull. This is good from Chengdu actually. They get this high ground area, and this is a very strong area on this map in my opinion. Because Elsa can go out here, he can fly on the Fair Mercy instantly, right? That kind of stuff.
Cheers, love. The cavalry.
Thank you for the follow. And one damn. Bacon Jack actually kills Eileen straight up. And again, this is that high ground I was talking about, right? Strong area of the map. Yeah, he scouts him here. Or maybe Elsa scouts him for him. And then boop! While Aileen is killing A-Man. A-Man was a bait all along. Are they gonna go? Oh, they go and res A-Man too. And I guess Neptuno doesn't have LOS on Aileen all the way over here. So he's not gonna go for the res. Meanwhile, Krong's going on Jinmu because obviously the Mercy's resing right now. Gets him, so Jinmu's not having a great time right now. Shu ends up killing him.
Time to raise my APM.
Then, because Shu was killing... Oh, what is happening? Dude, I like goats way more. You just have to look at one spot of the map, and that's where the fight was going on. What's this? No, I didn't actually like goats that much more than this, because this is a lot of new stuff, right? It was easier to spectate. So yeah, Rio gets naded and he gets pulled in. Very aggressive shielder by Amang. But obviously, the enemy team's dealing with a Pharah right now. Jinmu over here. So they can go aggressive. Molly flanked here to get that nade. Good nade. And yeah, Krong is not with Rio right now, which allows Elsa to just be mega aggro because his counterpart's not here. That ends up being a 1-for-1, which actually works in a Hunter's favor because they now get card push, right? Service is normally the one that just sits on card chills. Oh, hit my pop filter. I'm sorry if I killed your ears.
Get through this. Routing power to forward shields.
They're still getting
Time to raise my
push on the
APM.
cart.
I'm gonna have to shoot.
I guess, yeah, the charge is going to wait for Rio before they make their re-engage. They're only getting one fight on this point anyway, and that last fight is very strong. Nero is all the way over here on the flank. Obviously doesn't want to be in Bacon Jack's LOS. This fight's very important, because if you win this fight here, you get the setup. A lot of first point, defenses get full held here. I mean, attacks get full held here. In general, it's a good spot to hold. So let's see how the Charge go about holding this. They have this free stack here. They have Krong, Rio, Shu for the heals. Probably gonna just sit on cart. It's hard to push through this, especially when you have an Orisa and not a Lucio and a Ryan. Nero is over here on the flank, looking for Bacon Jack or Jinmu. And where's Aileen right now? Aileen Mischievous is also on the flank. So you really want to create angles for your Widow, right? And that's what they're doing.
Time to raise my APM.
Oh, he's coming back to his team though. Get this angle. It's an okay angle, but overall Bacon Jack's positioning is also very good, right? Basically, Nero's gonna have a hard time peeking over this. Aileen gets his high ground over here. Overall, this is a very slow fight because it's hard for either team to push hard, right? So it's kind of just about spamming the enemy shield, creating pressure, contesting cart. Oh my god. Amag's not just a one trick. He pulls you off the map. Wow. I think Krong even tries to eat it. Doesn't get to eat though. Oh, yeah. That's rough, dude. Dude, did you see the range on that pull? Goes from here all the way over here. Rip shoe. It almost lands on the boat too. Oh, he almost lands on the boat. That's what feels bad, yeah. And then there's no healing for the Guangzhou Charge. That was a nice pull from there, man. Also bongos now. Pressuring the enemy team off. Oh, Jinmu also gets nanoed. What the fuck? Fucking Hunter's just using every ult. Huh? So like, we're done with your shit, Charge. We need this point. Which, I mean, this is, if you're gonna like use a lot of ults in one spot, then this is the point, right? Because it's very hard to push through this choke, actually. Especially if you're not playing the Ryan. It's like really hard to go from here, where there's so much cover, to here, where there's no cover, right? And the enemy team can just kind of like hold ground. You get shot by everything. Well, you can't really get shot by everything yourself, right? So, I actually don't mind that the Hunter spent a lot of ults to cap that. Not gonna lie. I think it's just a hard point to cap, and now they can kind of get their own defensive spot right and make Charge use a lot of ults to win the next fight. Maybe they didn't need to use 3 or 4 ults. They could have just used 1 or 2. But
Engaged.
That's okay. Okay. Charge set back up.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Right. I really don't know if I like these comps. I feel like maybe on first point there, this comp from either team is a little bit better, right? But then on the second point, like it's where like Ryan Kingdom starts, right? You have so much low ground. You can speed through all of this. Third point too, Ryan's better for the whole map in my opinion. If you play that Ryan comp that Charge played earlier, which you saw all Western teams play, I'm not sure why the Charge is deciding to like kind of go mirror Hunters instead of trying to counter their comps, right? Because if Bacon Jack's in, you know they can't play anything but Widow because that's all he's played. You know, whenever you see Bacon Jack in, you know, hey, they're playing Widow. Anyway. Wow, Nero and the fucking Jinmo are just shooting each other through these tiny cracks of this high ground here. Pretty funny. Again, good hold spot for the Charge, and it's hard to dislodge this. I feel like you kind of have to win a DPS duel. You either have to win the Fair Mercy duel, or you have to win the Widow duel, being the Hunters. So, like, because you can't just like int on Rio. Then your DPS are gonna have to start shooting him, and then the enemy DPS will kill your DPS because your DPS can't shoot the enemy DPS. That kind of thing, you know. You can't just brute force your way in as the Hunters here. They are focusing the enemy shield very hard though. Getting some payload push. And Jinmu is shooting Rio a lot. Kron can maybe help Rio a little bit more here. They nano Nero. Who is hard going for Bacon Jack. He has a vendetta against Bacon Jack. Kills Bacon Jack. Not in Willow LOS. Or, yeah, he is in Mercy LOS. Doing a good job of pocketing him. He's still alive. He's already killed Bacon Jack. Oh, he's still alive. Neptuno's actually doing a really good job keeping Nero alive. Who's getting shot by literally everyone. And Nero gets out. Nice. Good job by Neptuno there. Who might now get his ult for. Oh! Oh no. He runs into a pole. His only weakness. Objects. Bacon Jack gets res, but it's a trade. Watch that from Neptuno LOS. Spanish balls are still not to use his ult here. He runs into a pole. That would have been the great escape. But then he flies into the only thing that can beat Mercy. Mini poles. Stopping our flight. If he just flew back to his team here, that would have been a sick play to keep healing Nero there. And still have good movement. But now he kind of gets stuck. Doesn't have his Guardian Angel cooldown. Jinmu ends up ulting. But still, the Bongo's now out for Charge. They've used some ults, but not too many ults actually. So if they just win the fight from here, they're doing really good. Where the heck is Jinmu? Oh, he's 1 HP up here. It's just hard for Eileen to get LOS on him, I guess. But yeah. Charge win the fight off that. Just Nano and Bongo. So good ult banishment from them, really. Still just holding these you know, high ground areas, making sure Jinmu can't get a good angle on his Orisa. She's kind of a 3v3 with the front line here from either team, and then a 2v2 in the air with the Pharah trying to shoot the enemy Orisa as much as they can, but still covering the enemy Pharah, and then the Widow playing her own angles, sometimes fighting the enemy Widow, right? Trying to find angles on the enemy Pharah too. But yeah, it's a very brawly kind of thing. I noticed that Jinwoo's been getting a lot of shots in on Rio though, so that's where Chengdu's sometimes been getting an advantage. Jinwoo gets nanoed. That's focusing Shu. I'm here for my daily Q move. Hey Curbs, welcome to the stream.
Heroes never die.
Wow, and then Krong gets the biggest freaking ult. So yeah, because the Charge didn't use too many ults last fight, they only used the nano boost and the Orisa ult. 5 head to go on. I'm a free head. Don't talk to me. They still have a bunch of ults here.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
So yeah, Jinwoo gets nanoed. Shu gets pocketed here. Neptuno has good ult timing actually. Very good ult timing to just AoE heal everybody. Making sure his Shu stays alive, and then Mercy ult actually lasts 15 seconds, so it lasts for a very long time. And then this ult from Krong is really good. Wow, he even gets Aiming. Aiming didn't have shield, I assume. Okay, just put down shield, and because he put down shield, Rio called, hey, Aiming just uses Orisa shield. He's not vulnerable. Let's Diva Bomb. Krong Diva Bombs because the shield was put down. The pull comes out from Rio, so Molly can't hide. And it's a really nice combo between Rio and Krong there. Like that must have been really good communication. They must have gone like, hey, pre-fight. Krong says, hey, I'm gonna ult when the enemy team uses Orisa shield. And then Rio says, yeah, I'll tell you. Rio says they use Orisa shield. Krong's like, I'm ulting. Rio pulls Shu back in, or Molly, I guess. A Molly back in, and they get a double kill with it. So nice timing, nice communication. That's how you really want to use Diva Bomb. And then yeah, they're 2 down at this point. As long as you just win the ult or win the fight. And again, good ult management. Hunters used both their support ults, and Charge used Widow ult, Diva ult, and Mercy ult, but they still won the fight, right? Let's see what... No, now that Hunters have an ult advantage, they're basically a Bongo and Diva ult, which are 2 really strong ults. Let's see what they can do. They can also make the same play, right, where Rio puts down a shield and the Diva Bomb. Because this is a good point to Diva Bomb. It's very open. If you land it like above here, it'll hit like the whole point. You know, that kind of stuff. Okay. So again, same thing happening on the cart, right? It's kind of the Shu, Krong, Rio against Aiming, Elsa, Molly. Then the Pharah Mercies kind of fighting each other off the side. Nero won't let Jinwoo shoot Rio, which he's doing a good job of. And then Bacon Jack and Aileen playing their own angles, right? They haven't had the Widow duel too much, except on first point. Hey Dons, how you doing?
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Nerf this!
Oh. Good. How about you? I'm also good. Pretty tired, but I'm grinding the VOD views. So Rio, on point. Has put down shield. He still has a 6-second cooldown on his Orisa shield. Elsa knows this. So now it's Elsa's turn to like line up a good bomb, right? And this is a really good point for a Diva Bomb. They also pull. They pull Shu. So it's very like just what Charge just did. The Chengdu is now doing to the Charge. The pull and the bomb aren't lined up as well though, so they don't actually end up getting Shu, but they end up getting Aileen. But definitely, if the pull was like a little later or the bomb was more in synergy with it, could have been better. And Elsa also ends up dying, so it's just not as clean the combo is from Chengdu as it was from the Charge.
Justice reigns from above.
Then Nero comes in with ult. Obviously, Elsa doesn't have, you know, the mech. He's dead, so that makes Pharah ult really free. And they also nano him. So yeah, nano barrage, really strong ult combo. Nice job from Kron to matrix him too right there. Oh, and now Hunters make this full swap to dive. They're sick of this shit. And actually, dive is like really good into this Charge comp. It is really good into this Charge comp because the supports are like fairly diveable, right? And if you pressure supports, the Mercy won't be able to pocket the Pharah, and then Elsa can go on the Pharah, right? And then Mercy kind of has to choose, hey, do I pocket my Pharah or do I pocket my flex support? If you do properly, one of them is going to die. Charge, though, in turn, Aileen swaps to Sombra, goes back to spawn real quick, makes the swap, good swap. Sombra is very good against dive. If Elsa or Amang jump in, you know, you can hack them, or you can try to hack a flanker. And Widow is like a really good dive target for the Hunters. So, not being on Widow just gives one less dive target to the Chengdu Hunters.
Boosters engaged.
30 seconds remaining. Cease your
Amang
resistance.
jumps in really early, actually. That's a really deep dive. Jinwoo's there. But they kind of dive on Krong.
Translocating.
I thought Amang didn't play Winston. I mean, I don't think he likes playing Winston. He does play it though, but his best characters are Wrecking Ball, and I guess he plays Orisa now. They want a Ting in for Winston normally. Was Krong gonna live? Oh, Krong does end up dying. Amang also gets an anode. But you see how like easy it was early for you know, because the Charge had a Reaper and they had, you know, a Reinhardt. It was very easy to deal with this Winston. But now that none of those characters are here, you know, maybe Aileen could have even swapped a Reaper instead of Sombra. It becomes awkward, right? Like, it's hard to deal with Winston when you can't just walk into him. Especially when he has that Ana healing. Aileen does end up hacking. Killing Bacon Jack, though. Ooh, Bacon Jack also isn't their Tracer player. He normally just plays Widow for them. They end up getting Nero, though. And this is what I was saying, right? Where the Hunters get to, like, dive the Charge backline. And then while that's going on, they can also send Diva after Nero. And then Neptuno kind of has to choose who he goes and helps. He chooses to help Nero this situation. Even then, he still dies.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, Krong almost gets back in mech. Doesn't end up getting it, though. But yeah. I actually, like, normally I don't like dive too much, but I actually really like the full dive swap from the Hunters here because, you know, they hadn't been doing too well in the mirror. And it's just hard to break through these choke points because the defensive team doesn't really have to do anything, right? As long as they're contesting cart and they're, you know, contesting all the Hunters' angles, the Hunters are the one that have to make the attack, you know? And, you know, Fair Widow is better at holding stuff than they are at pushing stuff. Unless you win like a sniper duel or you get a pick, but they weren't able to do that, so I like the swap actually from the Hunters. This time the dive makes a lot of sense, and no surprise, the charge swap over to the death ball comp, right, to the rush comp that counters the dive really hard. This time Hunters have a lot of ults build up though, so like fight shouldn't be instantly won just because charge swapped, because this time actually Hunters have a lot of ults, but we'll see, we'll see. Wow, Amang dives in really aggro again. He has ult, so it makes some sense, right, that he's going really hard. Shu actually gets focused out really hard. He also gets hacked before the fight even starts. And that's one thing that I've noticed, is that before Chengdu dives, they always just have the Sama sit hard in the back line. Like, Jinwoo always just like sits in the back line, waits, gets a hack, and then after the hack goes off, they go in. So if Kron can like sit on Jinwoo really hard, oh, he cloaks him here. Still gets the hack off though, because of the chaos that Amang created. I get that. EMP comes out from both sides. EMP from Hunters is actually a lot bigger though, because only Bacon Deck and Elsa get hacked. While on the charge, basically everybody gets hacked but Aileen. So yeah, Hunters actually had a shit ton of ults coming into that. And Shu dying that early is bad. They obviously want to play the Moira with this comp because Moira is much more survivable than the NAs, and it kind of gives the Hunters a dive target. But he had nano, right? So maybe he could have played a little more defensive, knowing he was going to be the dive target. Oh, the comeback though. Nero gets nanoed, but he gets slept. He still slept. He still slept. Yeah, the entire nano kind of gets wasted by a nice sleep there.
All systems checked out.
Yeah, Charge do get the setup on point, but their supports are just getting killed right now. Again, the Ana dying because not a survivable as Moira.
Nerf this.
Oh, Diva Bomb comes out. Amang pins. He doesn't pin in line to the Diva Bomb, but nice dodge from Rio. The Yoda chat is beating up on not Chad Rio. He's gonna go die though. Aileen has another EMP. Oh, he actually found that pretty quick. I guess Jinwoo also has his almost. So.
Time to raise my APM.
But yeah,
Fight for
solid attack for the Hunters tonight. I guess that dive swap was just good. There into Charge's comp. They're getting held for a really long time there. When you need a player to improve a lot on a certain hero, do you hold a lot of VOD views, have them grind comp, or a mix of both? So it's like a mix, right? Like first, the player has to realize like where do I need to improve on the character, and maybe it's a new character that they've just picked up, right? So like especially when players are playing a new character, they should just play a shit ton of the character, get used to it, and then after that, you know, you have to like look at, you know, what weaknesses does the player have on the character, show that to them, right? Sit down together, how are we going to improve on this thing, make a plan, and then slowly like improve, right? Players aren't going to like pick up a new character in a week, or, you know, more than that, even a month some players take just to like get used to a new character. But especially when it's a new character, just playing a lot and then having the players know what to improve on that certain character goes like a long way. Okay. Next. God, we have this mirror again. Can't you just play this map like you used to play GOATs? Can't you just pick Ryan Diva and spawn camp? like, obviously the Hunters doesn't want to do that, right? Because they're more of a DPS focused team and not as much of a team play and like do the same thing over and over focused team. But couldn't Charge on their defense, not just go Ryan Diva, Lucio Moira, you know, like Reaper Torb or Reaper Samba, whatever they want to play, and just spawn camp the enemy team and just get a ton of fights on first point. I feel like that would work really well because I feel like the Hunters comp takes a really long time to like win. Especially with Pharah, right? Pharah takes a long time unless they get like a random pick to like get enough poke in to like start winning the fight. So to just play defense and play to get time off the clock could be really good with a rank comp against that comp. I just not sure why, you know, Charge would take that mirror specifically against the Hunters, especially when Bacon Jack's in. If you can force Bacon Jack off Widow, I feel like that's what you want to do, right? Anyway. Rio's pushing point. Again, Krong is kind of playing more to deny the enemy team than he is to force A-Meng and Elsa out. Well, A-Meng and Elsa are always playing together, not really, you know, trying to fight Nero at all.
Defense mode activated.
Rio pushes really hard because he's now A-Meng's just used Fortify. I thought that Fortify from A-Meng wasn't good.
Routing power to forward shield.
Yeah, and they're just gonna kill him straight up. Like, massive error here from A-Meng. If you're an Orisa player and you want to be good, you gotta know when to hold the Fortify and when to fold the Fortify, right? And here, if you look at this Fortify,
Routing navigation systems.
while understandable, not good, right? Like, it's just Rio. It's just Rio right now. There's nobody on A-Meng, and he just gets pulled and then fortifies, you know? While there's also a DM on him. Maybe Aileen could have shot A-Meng, you know? But still, there is the Diva Matrix. So this Fortify coming out here from A-Meng and Fortify like a 10-second cooldown is pretty bad. Like, you really want to hold that Fortify. And Rio obviously sees this. So they just back out for a little bit. A-Meng is no Fortify.
The cavalry's in.
And now, Rio is just like, hey, we push. Shu actually did the exact same flank Molly did to get the nade onto A-Meng.
Defense mode activated.
Rio still has Fortify, A-Meng doesn't. You know, Krong isn't really even that deep. Now he is.
Routing power to
But
forward
because of the Fortify on Rio, they just win this fight. Because A-Meng had to kind of like use it. He dies, loses. Evelto even tries to help. But that's really about cooldown management for A-Meng, right? Good Orisas will always hold to their onto their Fortify for like the perfect situation or the perfect moment. And it's like hard to force it out from them. You want to see good Orisa dance Overwatch from Team Netherlands is in chat here. He wouldn't have fortified that. Thanks for the follow, Thompson. I don't know if he's still here, but okay, Rio also dies in return though. Elsa's been doing actually pretty well in that duel. Elsa dies in return. A-Meng gets res though. Nice res right there. Yvelto's always good with the Mercy reses.
APM.
And then Jinwoo also kills Aileen. Aileen. Don't know.
Move back.
Ooh, he's got a really aggressive angle here. Wait, where's Nero right now? Wait, Nero's in Africa. Nero's trying to get onto Bacon Jack, I guess. So Jinwoo gets a really good angle onto Aileen. Kills him straight up. And then Bacon Jack also gets into duel against Nero. So yeah. I've got a question, Cass, but it's kind of off topic. Does enemy team having Shatter counter Nano Rhine. What? Oh, does the enemy team having a Shatter up, I guess in the Rhine v Rhine, counter Nano Rhine? I think that really depends, Mazoi. I think if the enemy team has Nano, I would be careful to nano your Rhine, because obviously nanoing Rhine kind of pressures him to swing, and it would make it easier for the enemy Rhine to shatter you. But when we saw the Mei Cree matchups constantly,
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
actually teams were still nanoing Rhine even when the enemy team had shatter, and they would often still counter the shatter. And I think our Rhines are just really good. One thing you can't really do when the enemy Rhine has shatter is Fire Strike, because it locks you in the Fire Strike animation and they can get a shatter for free. But I think overall, if you're playing that Mei Cree, I think you still nano the Reinhardt, because it allows him to swing, and it kind of pressures the enemy Rhine to shatter as well, so you can kind of bait it out, if that makes sense. Because even if a Rhine is swinging, you can always cancel his swing when the enemy team's Rhine shatters, right? So you can still block it if your Rhine is alpha enough. But I do think that if you have Doomfist, that Nano Doomfist is really, really good. So, like, if I was playing Doom Rhine, I would probably just nano the Doom either way. Hey Kate, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. X8 800, I don't know how to say your name. Could I show you a fight as an example? Maybe you could go through it after the VOD. Yeah, I'll go through it after the VOD review is finished. Thanks for the follow, Kip. Yeah. When you're nano, it's so easy to block shatter as long as you don't Fire Strike. Yeah, exactly. As long, I mean, what the enemy Rhine can do though is like kind of like, you know, see you nano, you oftentimes use the speed boost when you nano, and then the enemy Lucio could like counter speed boost the Rhine, and then shatter, right? It's like pretty delicate, but I don't think nanoing Rhine makes it so the enemy team gets a free shatter. It forces your Rhine to swing less? I don't think so. I think while swinging, your Rhine can still block shatters. Like, I saw it a lot in week 1 to 4 of OWL, where you were playing the Mei Cree, and then they would still constantly nano Reinhardt. And he would just block shatters based on sound, right? Because he can cancel his swing based on shatter sound. But if I would have Doomfist either way, Smazoi, going back to your question, even if the enemy Rhine doesn't have shatter, I just like Nano Doomfist. I think Nano Doomfist is really good. Okay, we continue. Oh, Aiming tries to get the pull on Rio, dodges. And overall, this attack is just hard. It's like the same as I said for the Hunters on attack. The same goes for the Charge, right? It's just hard to push when you're playing these DPS, because they're not DPS that support the front line. Pharah and Widow just kind of have to duel the enemy Pharah and Widow, and then Rio can't really just push the enemy Orisa, because then he's just like, he just has to use a shield aggressively. His shield dies, and then it's hard, right? Also, Rio is just sitting in main. It's hard to like shoot this shield with everyone, right? This is really good shield placement from Aiming, where you can still contest the cart, and he has a shield up. And if you push the enemy shield, then he's gonna like, you know, have another shield faster than you, because Aiming's gonna get the cooldown up faster. So it's very hard for Charge to actually push this unless they win like a Widow duel or they win the Pharah duel, which is also hard because the Pharah has to then push into the Widow LOS. So I'm just not too big of a fan of the attack coming out here from both sides, to be honest. Maybe what Rio and Kron can do is to go high ground here, set up here, and then, you know, look to drop. Jin was actually doing a really good job here supporting Amang. Then goes back to deal with Nero again. So hard here to attack for. Like, Nero basically has to win this fair duel, or Eileen has to win the Widow duel. While Elsa's also covering him and the Widow's back here. It's rough. Because I just don't see like them punch through, right, with a comp like this. And it was the same the other way around. That's why I like to swap the dive from the Hunters earlier.
Cease your resistance.
Oh, Elsa goes really deep though. What's going on here? Elsa, what are you doing? Wait, that's Bacon Jack.
Time to raise my ATM.
He gets slept, so he tries to shift forward. He tries to do a classic, you know, relieve stress from your Orisa by shifting through the enemy team. Maybe killing Shu here, who's really low. But he gets slept. Nice sleep from Shu. Basically kills Elsa. Bongo comes out from Amang. And Elsa still had the Devo. This fight's been going so long. And then, ooh, Nero kills Bacon Jack, and Eileen kills Jinmu. So this is what I've been saying, right? You need your, you know, DPS to kind of win these duels. If you want to take this first point.
Get behind the barrier.
Oop. Is Charge's Widow really effective here? I mean, if he can get angles, then yes, because it's a very open point. It's a good point for a Widow, right? But it's not effective in the sense that, you know, he'll just kill. Oh, oops, hit my mic. I'm sorry. It's not effective in the way that he can like go and push Amang and like do big things. Especially when, you know, Bacon Jack has the defensive positioning as Widow. But Nero ends up getting a flank. Jinmu's no longer contesting him.
No one can hide from my sight.
Bacon Jack just kind of walks into Nero. Where I guess the Hunters just weren't as aware of his positioning anymore. But still, if you know, Hunters just goes ahead and dies on point, Amang's doing a good job of stalling Cart right now. They get another fight here. He ends up dying late. Hunters still have some ults. Charge have like all their ults. So Charge did a really good job of just holding on to their ults that fight too.
Cease your resistance.
Charge Bongo very early, which I think is good. Bongo lasts for a while, and they can really pressure up with the Bongo up. They can kill the enemy Amang shield. And they also, or I guess Hunters nano Jinmu early to try and win the Pharah Mercy duel maybe.
Systems at max.
What's Jinmu? Oh, he's trying to kill Aileen. That's what he's doing. Oh my god. Aileen barely doesn't die there.
I am unstoppable.
Oh, he does end up getting him. And Bacon Jack also somehow kills Shu. Ooh, that's a rough loss for Char. They had so many ults coming into that. Wait. How does Jinmu just mess up Aileen like that? This is illegal. Stop right there, sir.
Systems at max.
So Aileen's over here. Gets shot by the Pharah. Gets shot again. Now he's 1 HP. He's running. Wow, these shots don't hit. That's crazy. Alien just looking at Bacon Jack too. He must be. Finally dies to Jimmy. Yeah, Bacon Jack was over here. He was trying to kill him. And Bacon Jack also kills Shu. So again, the DPS from Hunter's making like big plays here.
Systems at max. Heroes never die.
He's kind of holding this angle. Oh, Shu just walks into him. Yeah, at that point, this fight's over.
60 seconds remaining.
Hunters used wall hacks, nano boost, and mercy ult. While charge used like just about as much. Both their support ults and the bongo. Good fight though for the Hunters. Oh, and now charge full swap. So I would have loved to see them just go this comp earlier.
30 seconds.
But now they're just gonna have to rush the cart. Alien just dies on rotation. He didn't expect to get uncloaked, but the random spam from Chengdu finds him. Oh, and charge also swaps to the Winston here. They just have to go to cart at this point.
Justice reigns from
Rio ends up
above.
touching, but dies for it, right?
Nerf this.
Oh, strong with bomb, but I mean at this point, charge is just staggering in. I don't know. They could
Nerf this.
the Widow Faramir on attack. This doesn't seem too good to me on either side, right? You saw the Hunters really struggle. They ended up getting the first point because they won some duels, and you also saw the Charge really struggle, just because you know it's really hard to like push that front line away, who's just holding corners, when you only have the two Aristas like shooting each other, you know, and maybe the Divas like helping out. Nobody.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
Okay. But Nambani's a really good, like kind of Reinhardt map, because the enemy team has to like walk up to you, has to like force point, and then it's very easy to speed in with Reinhardt and just go. Especially when you also have the Mei. This time, I really like the starting comp defense for Charge. Again, a big fan of this comp. I'm not sure why they didn't spawn camp with this comp on the last map. I think that would have been good. All the Western teams basically played this comp yesterday too. Except with Torb or Doomfist instead of the Sombra here. But Sombra is also really good with the comp, right? Just because their hacks and their ults are so impactful. Anyway, Hunters, again, going for this spam comp. But I just don't know if there's enough damage here. Like, they have the Pharah Mercy, which does a lot of damage, admittedly. And then they have the Sombra, who forces point. But they also have Winston Diva, who do no spam. And then they have the Moira, where they're just picking her to stay alive, because on Hanamura they actually played Anna. But the Anna did horrible. Because he just kept getting ran down by Aileen. Eileen. But yeah, I think if Charge just kind of like sit up here and make a decision as a team to go on somebody together, while, you know, avoiding getting picked by the enemy team spam, they're good.
Get through this.
Okay, so Elsa ends up forcing point, which is fine, right? I think Charge is sent to kind of be on this high ground is fine. Because they always have Eileen. Oh, you got forced out, I guess, but they always have Krong who can touch point, I guess. A-Ting. Oh, A-Ting. A-Ting. Jumps in, drops the bubble. I think now is like the time you speed somewhere as Charge. I think they just have to go on this Winston, because the Winston's committed both bubble and jump. It's kind of free. But yeah, the Charge does end up doing that, and he just dies, right? Like, there's no way you don't just die to it, the Reaper as Winston when you put both bubble and jump. So that seemed like a questionable decision there. I don't like that. And I just don't like the comp overall, I'm not gonna lie. I think if you play against it really well at the rank comp, you should basically always win. Because there's not enough spam, and there's not enough dive, you know? And what are you even gonna dive on this charge comp with the Winston Diva? I don't know. It seems like, you know, this comp with Wrecking Ball is a lot better. Because the Wrecking Ball can actually create a lot of space for you. Seems like they're trying to play Wrecking Ball comps without Wrecking Ball. And even with the Wrecking Ball, right, the Sombra can attack him. That's another thing. Yveltal ends up getting hacked. They can't really go on him. He's really far back, so good job. And Leave ends up forcing point again. They seem to like forcing point and then going on somebody when they're hacked. Or, you know, hacking somebody when they drop point. Leave forced out. Charge gives up a lot though. They end up hacking Elsa though. And yeah, Elsa's just gonna die now. So nice hack there from Eileen. Who already has his EMP too. Oh, he just EMPs. He only gets Jinwoo and Molly, but I don't know if they needed that even. They're kind of fine there. They even just killed Elsa. And then he also dies. So maybe he didn't have his translocator. Wait, let's go watch his POV. I don't want to take too long per POV because we only have 1 hour anymore. But before I'll even start, so. And I can't stream during all times, obviously. Yeah, he doesn't have the translocator up and he kind of gets fucked. Instead of maybe EMPing, he should have like went and put down a translocator then went back in. But still, it's a 5v5 now. Leave is still EMP'd. Oh, it's Jinwoo. Leave ends up dying because he's EMP'd. So it ends up not being a waste. 18 jumps in. The Winston can't do anything. He's only 65% ult. Rio also doesn't have much ult, right? But Rio is more of a shield bot. Winston doesn't really, you know, have as much shield. Like, shield pushes out really far about the team here. If you're calling like this, I think you need to also be speeding. Like, 18 jumps out. Maybe they could have just sped after attain. Does he do their speed? They don't have speed. They just used heal boost, I guess. Okay. And then they go on the Pharah Mercy or the Pharah with the Cole. Chu's trying to really get him, but Rio kind of splits off. And then Chu's alone. He gets hacked. Dies. He could have also flicked like on Leaf when he was hacking him, but it's hard. It's pushed up a little too far. And now the Hunters are probably going to cap this point. And they still have EMP. So it's pretty good for Hunter so far. They got held for 2 minutes. And then Eileen kind of makes a mistake there at the end. And obviously Mercy has res and the Charge don't. So like trading like your Sombra for their Sombra is not good. Especially when you use EMP. What? Okay, so so Hunters want to engage early. But this EMP seems bad. Like, so Charge is rotating inside. They want to go touch the cart. They were a rush comp with Ryan, so they can just, you know, sit on cart, make plays from there. That's good. Leave wants to EMP this, but only really EMPs Ryan and Chu, but Chu's pretty safe. So it's all up to Rio. Like, I would have liked to see Rio just go into the team there, but he goes in here. The beat comes out from Neptuno to counter the EMP, which is great because, yeah, obviously when you're Ryan's EMP, they're gonna engage, so you beat to like stop the engage, and it also makes your beat used, because if the enemy team just has EMP and you're just sitting on beat, then obviously you can't beat because EMP takes off the beat. So, just to keep the push going, they end up beating. Nero is on cart, which is good. You want to be stalling cart. They miss Shatter though. Aileen's kind of getting spammed really hard. Is Eileen gonna die again? Ooh, Eileen TP's out. Nice. Nero's, nobody's sitting on cart now. Nero has regrouped with the team because there's an ulting Winston. But now they're all gonna go cart, right? Yeah, so you see how long it takes for the Hunters comp to kind of kill them? There's just no damage. Like the Fair's like the only damage. Like Moira doesn't do any damage. Winston doesn't do any real damage. Sama doesn't do that much damage. D.Va doesn't do that much damage. There's no Discord orb, And the AoE healing from Lucio and Moira just does a lot at that point. Oh, Krong kind of goes on the Fair Mercy. Doesn't die. Neptuno eventually dies though. Ooh, maybe Nero could have stayed on top of there because Jinmu was hacked.
Nerf this.
Oh! Wrong. Oh wait, Krong kills him with the remake. This fight like started to go a little sour for Charge. Neptuno ends up getting picked. See how that happens first. Okay, he just gets Fair rocketed while trying to like speed to his team and trying to like make his team mobile. Then Krong ults. He decides to land on high ground because that's a pretty safe spot to remake as D.Va. He's literally running into Yveltal. He's messing up Yveltal so hard. He remakes, which then kills Yveltal. Remake actually does 30 or 50 damage. This is quite a bit of damage actually. I saw a remake kill yesterday too. It's so funny. Yeah. Wrong, another nice D.Va bomb. He could have even D.Va bombed a little more centered on Jinmu because he was hacked, but he just runs into Yveltal. Or Yveltal is like, let me just run from the bomb. It's gonna kill me. Meanwhile, Krong is like, Yveltal even ducks into the headshot. And then he has like, how much HP? 30 HP? I think that's how much damage the remake does. And he just dies to the remake AoE damage. Dude, Yveltal got fucked up there by the mini D.Va. Krong manhandled his ass. That's so funny to me. First he like chunks Jinmu as well. What a combo. It's like Street Fighter. Left click, left click, left click, remake, dead. Big plays there, I think. Yeah, Jinmu and Yveltal obviously thought like, hey, the D.Va ult is gonna hit us on this high ground, so they didn't think of even killing Krong there. But if they knew it was gonna land low ground, they would have killed him. Squished. Massive squish in him. Okay. Fighting still going on. Krong just had a massive ult. People are coming back in now though. 18's back. And Will's died there. Yveltal, he's also back. Dude, fight's been going for so long.
Apagando las luces.
Eileen pops his ult again. Gets a really big one this time. Gets 4 people. So now Charge should be able to press the W key and just run people over. thing again. Just getting smacked on by Rio. Eval gets picked too. Hunter's just like, fuck, their comp's OP. I think swaps to yeah, they kind of just swap to the mirror comp, which is obviously in Charge's advantage because they have more ult charge. Hunters just have to give up a lot of ult, like they had 60% on Mercy ult, some percentage on Winston ult, they had some percentage on the Pharah ult. So overall, this is really good for the Charge to force the mirror, right? Because obviously Hunters don't want to play meta. We know the Chengdu Hunters, they don't practice meta as much as other teams. So forcing this mirror is good from Guangzhou, right? And this is what I've been saying, how I feel like the rush comp is really good.
Apagando las luces.
EMP comes out from leave. It's actually a pretty good EMP. Hits 4 people. Nero doesn't get hit again though. Does he Wraith it? Nero's been pretty good at Wraith forming like shatters and EMPs. Good Reaper mechanic.
Get into position.
Apagando las
So EMP comes out.
This will heal.
Oh, he's just out of LOS. Just barely out of LOS. He doesn't Wraith form it. He's just out of LOS. Wow, that was so close to him. Kind of lucky. But yeah, big EMP. And then Nero, because he's not hacked, he ults. They had already killed the D.Va mech, so probably like pre-fight that went like, hey, let's focus the enemy D.Va mech and then let's Reaper ult, you know? That was probably the plan for Guangzhou there. A nice Reaper ult, and just barely Nero not getting hacked was a big deal there. But I mean, overall, this comp doesn't care as much as other comps about getting hacked. Because the Rhine, you know, all he can't do is shield when he's hacked, but there was no shatter anyway. The D.Va can't Matrix, which is a big deal, I guess. The Moira can still heal when hacked. The Lucio, I guess he gets affected by hack really hard. He can't do much. But the Reaper doesn't care too much, right? He wasn't hacked in this situation, so he still could ult. And the Sombra cares quite a bit about getting hacked. So I guess hack is still like a really massive ult. But it's not as bad as when you're playing against like Wrecking Ball D.Va and you hack those two, you know? When they have so much mobility. Thank you for the follows, Sino.
Kill the Mahal.
Okay. So again, charge, aggro, engage, right? They have the Moira ult. I really like being aggressive, especially in the Rhine mirror. And yeah, Hunters, they used the Moira ult too, but they're just too late. A-Ting's already dead, and like, where was the team? Where's the Ting's whole team? Look at how far back everybody is. You can't be this far back from your Reinhardt in the mirror. Gonna need to be up his ass constantly. Like, this is just a death sentence. Like, where is Elsa? Why is he hiding? Is he trying to stop Aileen from hacking anybody? That would make some sense, but still. Like, you need to be with your Rhine, I feel. Aileen tries to hack. Evil even gets it off, right? So there's no speed. Yeah. I think this gets bursted, and both teams use Moira ult, but you really have to play around your Reinhardt in this mirror matchup.
60 seconds remaining.
Boosters engaged.
Apagando las luces.
Damn it.
Okay, nice EMP again. Hits the Rhine, the D.Va, and the Lucio. I don't like that the Charge were so passive when they EMP'd though. Why were they so far back? Like, why don't they speed in like they did with the Moira? The EMP. Shu is hacked. Okay, so Shu is hacked, and they're trying to engage on Shu. And Neptuno's trying to peel for him, I guess. Yeah, he's heal boosting to help Shu. Just to make sure Shu doesn't die because he's hacked. That makes some sense. Okay. That's why they couldn't really go hard on the EMP. Force leave out. So that was good from the Hunters, right? They traded nothing for EMP.
Nerf this.
Now, the Diva Bomb comes out from the Charge. They obviously have a lot of ults here compared to Charge. Doesn't really do anything either, though. Like, Charge is getting very low ult value here. And I'd like to see them go harder
I'm back in the
when they do use an ult. Maybe next ult, guys. Like, they went really hard with Moira ult earlier. Now they're just kind of like using ult and then not going in. Okay, Moira ult.
this.
Neptuno's fighting leave. That's good, right? You really want your Lucio to kind of force out the Reaper if he's TPing in so he can't get on your Reinhardt. Again, they're kind of like not doing a whole lot. Oh, they actually hacked leave. I wanted to say they're not doing a whole lot with this Moira ult, but they end up hacking leave in the backline. Gets him killed. Oh yeah, he just doesn't Wraith in time. If he would have Wraithed that the hack sound, that would have actually been big value. And also Elsa's bombing. Actually, really good job from the Charge at getting that hack on Liam.
Game on.
And then Shadow comes out. Nice shift from Ollie, but Elsa gets hit. Oh, beat though. But now Neptuno can counter beat, which is ideally what you want, right? You don't want to beat when the enemy, like you don't want to beat first. You want to use your beat second. It's very good. So good job forcing out the beat. EMP comes out, but Neptuno does a really good job not getting hit. But yeah, now he's just gonna beat. Nice beat too from him. And actually that Shatter doesn't hit anything. Wait, how does the 18 Shatter not hit anything when they EMP the enemy, right? Because they obviously want to go EMP Shatter here, right? Yeah, so they farm the EMP. The EMP. Wait, he scores a field goal. He scores a field goal with the Shatter. He hits between Eileen and Rio, who are both hacked. And Nero shifted. Nice shift from Nero. Yeah, that was a rough Shatter. And Charge just read that play like a book. And the beat comes in. Nobody shattered. They just run over the enemy line. So that was really well played from the Charge, actually. Like, even though they played that whole fight kind of passive, like this whole second point, they played kind of passive. Their answers were really good. Like, answers to the enemy team play to end up hacking leave. So he's playing really aggressive. They end up dodging the EMP and beating it. And then they end up also dodging the Shatter. And what I've seen Sombras actually do in the past is like trying to take the enemy Lucio hostage, because whenever the Sombra has EMP, Lucio kind of has to hide to not get EMP'd and then beat after, right? But if Jinmu can just hold on to the EMP and Neptuno has to keep hiding, that's a very smart strat in my opinion. Which I think maybe the Hunters could have even done there, right? Just keep forcing Rio shield until more people have to help him, and then win the fight. But what's going on here? Chengdu's playing another Chengdu comp. They're playing the same comp they played on Hanamura defense. Oh, I just don't know. Let's see what the Charge's response is here. And we only have 45 minutes left before L starts. So let's get through this quickly. Okay, so they decide to go under. This time, I like that the Charge isn't like going a spam mirror or playing to the Hunter style. No, they're just playing their comp, which they've done good on so far. they're gonna go rotate all the way around, which is great, right? You kind of want to dislodge this high ground hold from the Hunters, so they're doing a good job so far. The exact rotation you want to see. Is Torb an actual strat nowadays? Yes, Torb is good. Because Torb has gotten a rework. He doesn't give armor packs anymore. He now has Overload, which gives him 350 armor and makes him shoot faster. And his turret's like hard to deal with for these like Rhine comps, right? Like if you look at this comp, like who's really gonna kill the turret? So yeah, Torb's good. Especially when he pops his Overload and his ult's rework. His ult's now called Molten Core, which it was called before, but now he puts down lava on the ground, so it's a very good ult. 18 is kind of holding the front here, which gets his fortify force. He also moves faster. Yes, Masoi. Thank you. Yeah, you'll see it later. I'll show you. He puts lava on the ground. Okay. So, first, AT uses his fortify to kind of body block the choke, right? Does a good job. His whole team shooting the enemy team. So, Charge decided to back out. Now AT almost has his fortify up again, actually, but doesn't have it yet. So he has to give up some space. He has it again, but he gets hacked, actually, from the low ground by Eileen. So really nice hack. Now at 18, I don't see how he's not getting ran over here. No more fortify. Nice drone, actually, from Yveltal. But still, he dies. There's no fortify. He's hacked.
Kill the Mahal.
Yeah, the cleanup after that. Like as I'm saying, like what's gonna really kill the like they need to kill the shield. And Soldier just doesn't actually do that much DPS, and neither does the Torb. So maybe if the Hunters want to play this, they have to go Hanzo. But I just don't think spam comp is good against Rhine comp when you don't have Mei. Mei is really good at stopping Reinhardt from doing anything. And there's no speed on the Hunters comp, right? They have to hard, like this is, wow, this is bad. The Hunters hard swap to a mirror comp. So that means the Charges have more ults than them now, and they're just gonna lose.
Objective lost.
Like, they swap off 6 characters. This is some open division shit right here. This is what I see open divisions team do. They start on a comp, and then they're like, wait, our comp's not working, we gotta swap. And then they swap every character, and then now they have 0 ults, and the Charge have 5 ults coming up. So they're screwed, is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down. Get through this.
They're like literally screwed. Like you look at the Charge ults, if they just play it well from now on, there's no way that Hunters ever win this. Like if they just EMP, win this fight with EMP. Oh, the TP up from Leave here. Almost kills Eileen on his own, actually. But again, so many ults on the Charge side. And yeah, the EMP, it's huge. 5 people. This fight's over. We don't even have to look at the specifics. 5 people can't use their abilities. So, are they just gonna push it in? The enemy team even gonna touch? And even if they do, look, they hard swap. They have 0 ults still, and the Charge of 5 ults. They do touch. But yeah, this is a million ults on the Charge here. Maybe, I guess Hunters was just playing for the full hold. But I like the rotation from Charge. Nice hack there on a thing. That fight is over very quick.
Victory.
Let's get into the last map. And then, if I have time left, I'll just show you all the Torb abilities. Okay. Damn, that was paid for you.
Ready for battle.
That was not a well thought out defense from the Hunters.
3, 2.
And as I'm saying, right, like
Ready
I've
for battle.
been saying this, and I said this last week when I was reviewing the Chengdu Hunters, but I kind of feel like the Chengdu Hunters are a little kid, like in the mud. And if you start like playing like them and you start fighting them in the mud, they're really good at fighting with mud. So they win, right? But if you stay clean and you don't get in the mud with them and you don't start a mud fight, and you like play your comps and the things you are playing very cleanly, and you play the meta really clean, then you kind of win against that kid in the mud. That's what you just saw from Charge, right? On that Nambani. And I would have liked to see that on Rialto too, but they kind of like played Hunter's game there. And they lost. Shanghai last week, they also got down in the mud with Chengdu. They like went mirror comps everywhere and played 2 Chengdu style, and I just don't think that's good. Anyway, they're playing the same dive comp again against the rush comp. But I really, like, unless Jinmu gets a hack, I just don't see the Charge, like, not just win. Like, I even feel like Charge can go way more aggro than this. They're kind of just sitting around. But if they would just rotate, maybe into Molly, right? They can send, like, they can go left side here and send Krong after Molly. That kind of stuff. Or they rotate, you know, just on the other side of point. I think that'd be a lot stronger. They have to use their Lucio speed. And obviously then Yveltal can speed Molly away, right? And they can also rotate away. But just proactive play forces decisions from enemy teammates. And if they make the wrong decisions, that's really good for you. Again, Nero kind of does what I say though, right? He goes on Molly. Molly misses the sleep on him. Molly's on the high ground, but he's getting dived. Krong is touching point though. I think if you're Krong here, instead of like touching the point, you go to like, you know, with your team to kill Molly. Would have been better here. Because if he could just fly up this high ground, you know, he wouldn't have gotten DMAC'd here. He would have killed Molly. They don't actually end up killing Molly. That's crazy to me. Really think he should have died there. I think Krong staying point there was a massive error. Still, you know, who's going to stop this Reinhardt? He's fucking swinging. A Ting jumps in. They cut off Rio, but it was very tonky still. Leave actually kills, or Leave actually gets killed, so let's see how that happened. How long is this? Oh, this is 18 minutes. Holy moly, we can't stop everywhere. We've got to hurry. Hours in 40 minutes. Leave quit stops the cancel, or stop the hack. Stops the hack again. The health pack's hacked currently by the Charge. He doesn't have recall yet. 1 second, now he has it. Oh, so he just got killed by Neptuno before he hit the recall. Thank you for the follow. Kage Xerox. Kage? Is that Naruto? Anyway, and Nero again. He goes really aggro TPs, but you can't go aggro as Reaper because if you're in danger, you just race back to your team. And Molly's not been able to sleep him. Yveltal's kind of kiting him, which is a job, right? I think Yveltal maybe can go even harder on him, and he just kills Molly on his own. Dude, that should not happen. Gets back to his team safely too. Now, Hunters get the point, but they're already 2 down. So this fight's over. And I'm kind of going to go fast through this last map because we have 45 minutes left before Owl starts. And I don't want to be streaming during Owl times. Okay. Aggressive EMP again from Eileen. He gets both tanks, which is good, right? Like, I like quick EMPs where you just get a bunch of people instead of like waiting for like a perfect EMP. And that's a rule I like using for like almost all ults, right? Better to get like a 1-man grab than a 6-man grab. They do end up getting split though. Again, Hunters do their one strat where they force point. So maybe Charge could have waited a little bit with the EMP. But they get split, they go point. Obviously Jinmu can just TP out. Kron gets hacked. But yeah, messy fight from Charge actually. They want to engage like so aggressively, but I think if they wait till the enemy team's a little closer to point and then go really aggressive, that's a lot better for them. They also used the Moira ult. They're trying to rotate through here. They're already getting a little bit split, but overall, if they get inside of here and get the point safely, right, that's good for them. Neptuno wants to beat the EMP. That's why he's playing safe, but he actually gets hacked. But he's probably gonna die here, actually. Oh, maybe not. Didn't have to reload. No, he's gonna die. So pretty messy overall so far for the Charge. They're getting split up a lot. Like even if they get EMP in here at 6, maybe if they go in this room, they're still fine. I don't think you want to split up even though the enemy team is EMP. They actually have a fair amount of kicks. They can also dodge the EMPs with their abilities, right? Reaper could Wraith it, Moira can fade it. Aggressive Diva Bomb from the Hunters and a Pulse Bomb. Forces abilities. Doesn't get anyone though with 2 ults. But then Neptuno again dies. Oh, this man's getting bullied. So he gets hacked again. He's trying so hard to counter the EMP, but Jin was just not going to EMP if he can't get, you know, Neptuno and a few others. That should just not be Jinwoo's plan right now. Charge is still doing kind of okay though. They get their feet back on the ground. Neptuno's coming back now. Jinmo still should not EMP because, you know, if Neptuno wants to keep hiding and then splitting off, then you can just keep killing him. And he's doing the same again. I don't think you can do this, Neptuno. Like, you want to dodge the EMP, but you're just going to continually get killed. Oh, he's just getting bullied.
Feeling powerful.
Kind of a lose-lose situation. But I think you take the, stay with the team. You know, get everybody EMP'd. But then at least you get the EMP out, right? And you can go win the next fight. Okay. But Charge do get the point. Even if it's without Neptuno. They use the Moira ult, they use the Diva Bomb. They get thing. Jinmu then ults because Neptuno wasn't there yet. Shu ends up dying, but then Neptuno comes in with ult. He's like, yes, I finally get to use it. Maybe Jinmu shouldn't have even ulted there. Not sure. Yeah, Evil Tall ults too. I guess Jinmu just wanted to ult before Neptuno got back. He gets hacked off the map. But nice ult from Neptuno. Finally. This is so close so far. And if you can see, Hunters have 0 ults right now. Charge actually have EMP and Reaper ult. There's 1 fight left.
Apagando las luces.
EMP comes out. They hit both tanks, and this time it is on point. So now Charge can go really aggro right on these tanks. Oh, please kill a Tig. Oh, he doesn't die. Okay, he does die. And Neptuno boops Molly. So Neptuno's getting vengeance from getting bullied earlier. Now starts making plays.
EMP
Oh my god, he just... Molly! Molly just gets wrecked. He like jumps on the high ground. He's like, nobody can touch me here. And Neptuno just kind of dinks his ass. I thought it was a boop kill. But it wasn't a boop kill. It's just dinks.
Get through this. APM to
So one very last fight here. Hunters actually have a fair amount of ults now. They have both tank ults and their nano. But Charge only is their Reaper ult. I think Charge kind of want to go aggressive here though, to force these ults out fast before, you know. Oh, they get Yveltal, who was trying to touch.
I'm feeling unstoppable.
Huge shift gets forced though. And look at how durable Moira is. Shift out, puts the healing orb on herself, starts right clicking the enemy flankers and just lives. Moira's pretty stupid. And this is why you play Moira in this like Rhine comp. She's so self-sufficient. Shoot, big play, staying alive against both flankers and the Winston. And now at this point, you know, they got Molly at the start of that. Charge just won the first map. Even though, you know, their retakes weren't that clean. And one fight they like went a little too early. I just think the Rhine comp wins against the Charge comp, and she did a really good that last fight, staying alive, not getting hacked, that kind of stuff.
Ready for battle.
Next,
Ready for
what's going on here? So again, Hunters playing a fair comp. This well map is a good fair map, right? Because there's a lot of aerial cover. When I always talk about fair, I always talk about like what is the aerial cover, where can you spam from, are there good sight lines, right? All of those things are available on well. Charge again playing their comp. But if the Charge can play really fast, it might take too long for the fair to like set up her spam rate. Because it takes a while for her to like get all that spam in. Charge are kind of sitting inside right now. Molly's playing really defensive at this point. He's playing in Africa. He's too scared. Rotation's coming through for Charge. They have to kind of pick up Nero here. Good.
the objective is now active.
They've already had to use some cooldowns though, which obviously is not preferable. Still doing good though. She was getting a lot of ult charge. Sure to follow or Zerk. Krong goes in for the shift on the Fair Mercy. Now they have to make plays. Aileen gets a hack on Molly.
Time to raise my APM.
They don't really capitalize though. I guess Nero can like TP on that this time. Where is Nero? Oh, he's in the Winston's face. Okay, nice. Dude, he just killed him. Like, Reaper's so good against Winston. And as I've been saying, I think Reaper's so good, and the only reason why he isn't played when Kree's played. Right, Kree's like really good against Reaper. Anyway, they also kill Molly, and Kwang kills Yveltal. So like these long fights are just going in Charge's favor every time, unless Leave can like find a big hack, you know? Can like hack the diva and they can kill him together, that kind of stuff. And also they got the Shoe ult, which farms faster than a lot of other ults. And actually Molly makes a swap over to the Moira, but he threw all his Ana ult charge away, which is actually really key because maybe they could have like nano barrage, you know. Anyway, Charger now in control of the point, so they're playing it passive.
Justice reigns from above.
Fair barrage comes in, actually kills Shu before Krong even gets on him. Well, that's a really big barrage. Wow, they killed a lot more than it should have. I think Krong was like trying to do a little too much on the side there. Trying to side hustle a little too hard. Forces out the Sabra. Oh, he actually uses a lot of Matrix. And then he still goes for the Pharah. But at that point, Shu's already dead. Go barrage. Really, really good. And Charge actually had 0 ults up that fight. Nice. Like, Jinwoo is such a saving grace for Chengdu as well. Like, his fair is really good. And it's a good fair map. Like I said earlier. Charge have the EMP, so does Hunters. Let's see. Hunter's gonna set up the EMP first. I really feel they should. Oh, wait. A Ting dies. How does a Ting just die? Is he going aggressive because he has a Reaper ult? No, he's just getting chased down. A nice aggressive rotation actually from the Charge into a Ting who just barely didn't have his ult. And yeah, I really feel like playing aggressive like this is the way to do it with, you know, the Charge comp. Get EMP, Neo gets hit, but Shu shifts out. They even kill Jinwoo. And he dies for it. Oh, Yveltal makes big plays. Watch his POV real quick.
Hello there.
Oh, okay. Eileen was just 1 HP and he rezzed him. And he gets the last hit. But overall, this fight should be won here by the Charge. They even kill Leaf here on the back end. A pink comes out from Rio 2. They just have to win this fight quickly though. That's why Hunters are still investing ults. Because if they can keep holding on to the point, that's really good. Molly gets shattered. Nero still has his Reaper ult. Could maybe TP to a high ground. Fucking Eileen's done with this shit. He's like, I'm solo EMPing you. Solo EMPing the Diva. Oh my god, and Chengdu are still contesting this point. And Jinwoo comes in with another barrage. That's crazy. Yeah, Chengdu actually win this fight. Just off like stalling ults and then getting back faster than the enemy team. And now, Charge still have some ults, right? But they have to go contest. And they swapped a Winston actually. Which Winston just gives them a little more reach, but it's less like, you know, they don't have the shield for the rotations. Rio jumps back line. Ooh, and now they're getting split. And getting split with Lucia Moira really isn't good. Nero kills Molly though. Nero's been really good on the Reaper actually. Against this comp. He's also not been getting punished very hard. He's chasing after Molly. Dude, this man's a juker. He was in his head. He was in Molly's head. So Charge get the cap. Hunters have the EMP now though, but Neptuno still has beat. Oh, Eileen ends up dying. Charge kind of playing safe until Eileen comes back, I guess. And Jinwoo comes in with another barrage. Dude, this man's barrages are sick. EMP comes out. Neptuno actually doesn't get hit, so maybe it would have been better if Jinwoo had held on to it there. Because now Neptuno gets to beat everybody. Oh, they almost C9. Krong touches. Somewhere else comes out. Nero ults. Oh, but he doesn't get anyone because Elsa had really nice DM there. Yeah, and then I guess the long fight just goes in the way of the Hunters here. They also have both tank ults still. The Mercy ult. I had the feeling where you think you have to sneeze, but you don't sneeze again. And eventually Chengdu's gonna clean this up. I'm kind of rushing through this obviously because I was gonna start soon. I was actually, probably the stream's already started, but it's watch point. So is it okay? Okay to what? But yeah, last point. Again, Charge playing their rush comp. Hunters playing the comp. With Anna start again. Sneeze thing. Yeah. It happens, man. Come on. Wow, and they instantly kill Eileen. Wait. Oh, they just destroy his translocator. Leave finds it. They destroy it. And he dies. Wow, that's big. That's a good start here. I still like that Charge still go for the point here. This point position is actually pretty good for this team. But they kind of get wrecked on the rotation and they just lose. That's actually really big for the Farrakhan specifically. And they swap Nero to Tracer. I guess he doesn't feel like he's been doing enough on Reaper. And they also swap Rio to Winston. These are like big comp swaps coming in here. I like the Winston swap actually. I feel like the Winston has a lot of reach on the map like this. Especially when the enemy team has the Anna. Anna's very diveable, right? Moira's less diveable. Shu gets killed with walking in though. And the chaos on map 5.
Repairing the damage.
Left, getting to the charge here. And Shu just doesn't have fade right now. And he also doesn't use his Moira ball. Rio does get Anna, like I said, right? That Winston has a lot of reach. But at this point, the support line for Charge is already dead. And these long fights, Farah's really good in, right? Because she eventually just starts hitting critical mass of her rocket damage. Oh my god, Elsa eventually kills Eileen. Does end up dying for it though. It's a 1 for 1. Oh, and then Nero solo kills Molly. He spawn camps her. Dude, Nero's a really smart player. Yeah, he goes and spawn camps Molly. And kills her solo. That's really big. That's a lot of heals from the Hunters gone. She ends up dying again.
Helden sterben nicht.
Oh, Neptuno gets booped, but he can wall right back on.
Justice reigns from above.
Tianmu Barage. Neptuno gets booped. Wow, this is looking really bad for the Charge. But we know they win this series, so how do they turn it back? We know the Hunters did use a bunch of ults that fight. They still have EMP though.
Apagando las luces.
Rio jumps. The EMP comes out from the Chengdu Hunters. The EMP Rio. They kill Rio. So nice EMP there actually. Really, really sick play.
Time to raise my
I guess
ATM.
Charlie is just a kind of force point now or something.
Apagando las luces.
Eileen ults. He hits free but he dies. Wait, this is looking really dire right now. They get Molly, who's sick of getting spawn camp, so he swapped over back to Moira. On the point. Krong gets deep. How did the Chengdu Hunters lose this? They res Molly. They even kill Krong. They res Molly. They're 6 again. Wait. Rio kills Yveltal. Is Rio the hero we need, but not the one we deserve? Oh. Beat comes out from Neptuno. And they end up winning it off that Rio kill and just like dogpiling at the point. Wow. Is Jinmu gonna swap? No, they're staying on. I think. Maybe they could swap to like a mirror here because the Tracer Sama kind of outpaces the Pharah, in my opinion. Anyway. Map 5. They're kind of getting spammed right now. Nice hack from Leave. Could set up a Jinmu barrage here. And because the Diva is hacked. Yeah, Jinmu barrages. The bubble comes out. No. Wait. Rio doesn't bubble. watching these games actually really makes me miss playing in a team. Yeah. Kind of nostalgic, though, I think. God, it's a 1-for-1 for now. Rio gets hacked. He dies. Dude, this game's so close. Nero's now on the point, stalling. Dude, how did the Hunters lose this fight too? This Eileen must get a really good EMP here. They get the point again. Nero touches again. Jinwoo ends up dying to the Moira ult. Nice use of the Moira ult there by Shu.
Apagando las luces.
And the EMP comes in. Dude. The Chengdu are falling apart. They're not diving properly anymore. They're letting Jinwoo out on his own. And then they're all stacking on point. Jinwoo just gets picked. Charge did have to use a lot of ults though. Hunters have a lot of ults coming in. Basically one fight left here. One fight territory it's getting into for the Hunters because they still have to set up. Fair, it takes a lot of time. Oh, the EMP really aggressively. They only get Rio though. Nero is such a hero, yes, definitely. Oh, he tries to get Shu and Rio, but Shu actually nice fade to get out. Oh, Rio gets body blocked. Poor Rio's getting bullied. He's gonna die. Evo top pops ult. Krong pops ult. Oh, good ult positioning, but everybody dodges. Like, Elsa pops ult to remake. Inside right here. How do the Chengdu lose this one too? Jinwoo dies, so it's a 1-for-1. Jinwoo gets rezzed, so Charge are still one down. Krong kills 2. Krong's a hero, baby. Oh, Krong. Krong kills 1. Krong touches point. Krong's mini diva. How does he kill people? Wait, Krong's a god. He's still alive. He's gonna get his mech back. Oh my god. The Hunters should not be losing these fights. Are they even gonna be able to touch? Wow, Hunters choked really hard. Yes, Mazoi. They get point pressure every time and then just do nothing. 18 dies pre-fight. Neptuno dies. Rio and Nero go to point. Yeah, Nero's a hero. Wow. And then Chengdu doesn't get the point anymore. So let's wrap this up quickly. But I really feel like this wasn't Chengdu's week. Like, I feel like Chengdu's really good when they can play dive comps or like fair mercy comps or spam comps, right? But I don't think they do good with Reinhardt comps. And you saw that on Nambani. They went the Rhein mirror and just got crushed, right? And then on these comps, I just think the Rhein comp is really, really good because you can just force point, let the enemy team come into you, and then you can rush them down. So I don't think this was Chengdu's week. I think Charge sometimes they could have played the Rhein comp cleaner and made better rotations, right? Instead of mirroring the enemy team like they did on Rialto and on Hanamura. But overall, good match from them. It kind of showed that, you know, the meta can win against the Hunters. But I'm afraid I'm going to owe you that, like, VOD watching for later, Spazoi. Because Owl's actually already started. And I've got to quit the stream before that, actually, like, the matches start, right? But for everybody watching on YouTube, I'll see you guys in the next VOD review.